Shabbat Shalom, Mishpachah. Shabbat Shalom. Yes, glad to be here. I'm glad that you're here. All praises to the Most High. This is the day that He has made, and we rejoice in it. We are glad in it. And we are able to come together as a family. Yeah, we're able to come together as a family. And you know, really just spend time together. And it's wonderful. It's a beautiful thing. And I appreciate each and every one of you. I love you all. And you know what? I'm your more for this channel, Melchia Uriel. And it is my delight to teach you the truth and nothing but the truth as is revealed to us from the Tanakh, which, while the Christians may call the Old Testament, again, I remind you that the Tanakh is completely different than the Old Testament. And I would encourage you, those of you that can, to get a Tanakh. I use the stone edition of the Tanakh, but get a nice version that you can comfortably read, and you will begin to fall in love again with the Word of the Most High, and you will then see it from a different perspective, because it is whole and it is pure in its presentation, meaning that the Tanakh will have zero Christian biases interwoven into it when you begin to read, when you begin to read a Tanakh, when you begin to read the Hebrew Bible. When you pick up the Old Testament, you automatically are incorporating Christian biases and sleight of hand into the translation. Please remember, brothers and sisters, that the first level of interpretation of the Word of the Most High is the translation that you are using, because every single individual or group of individuals that have ever translated the Holy Writ, yes, it's true that they come with biases, they come with predetermined beliefs, and I don't think they can not do it. I think it's just something that is inherent within each and every one of us to produce after our kind. We're going to produce thoughts, and we're going to produce material that represent what and who we are. So it's very important for us to come to the table clean and pure, willing, ready, and able to worship the Most High. Again, I'm your more for this channel. I'm Melchia Uriel. And yes, I have spent, for those of you that do not know my history, I have spent decades after decades in Christian ministry. I have over 40 years of experience of being a minister in the church. Yeah, I know, man, that's a long time. And I came into the truth. I came into the knowledge of the truth. And I know a lot of people say that I got the truth. Well, I came into the knowledge of the truth, and I began, my eyes, listen, it was a painful opening, my brothers and sisters. It was a painful opening because, like many of you, I grew up believing. I grew up believing in a number of different things that were not true. These things were simply taught to me, and they were taught to those who taught me, and on it went. And I never stopped to really question, even though sometimes a question would come to mind. I'd wonder, like, well, how could that be? But then, you turn around and, say amen, and, you kind of forget all about it, and, you go about your business, and next thing you know, here you are years later, having to wrestle with the truth. And again, as I said before, hey, when your eyes are open to the truth, and by the way, I'm referring to any opening of your eyes to the truth, because I heard it expressed this way, that think of where you are right now. Think of where you are in whatever place in your home or out, even if you're outside, it doesn't matter. But just think about it for a moment. Where you are, especially if you're in a room, okay, or if you're outside, you're walking on the ground. Think of it this way. The ancients said that the ceiling of the revelation that I'm in is but the floor of the next revelation. Meaning that even as you look down, the floor of your present existence is the ceiling, okay, to a revelation beneath you. So it's just one of those things where, we do climb the proverbial Jacob's ladder in truth, and we embrace the truth, and our eyes become open. And I tell you, each and every time our eyes open, there can be some discomfort involved. But for those of us that love the Most High and love truth, we continue forward. And we will never let go of the hand of the Most High. We will forever hold to his hand, to his standards, and walk in his laws, statutes, and his commandments. Lately, we've been seeing a lot of talk about 3AI Atlas or 3I Atlas. And, many people are saying, well, it's aliens, and, aliens created us. And I keep asking the question, for those who are saying that aliens created us, well, who created the aliens? And when you get to the end of the story, there has to be a creator of all. There has to be the one who created the heavens and the earth and everything that is therein, and he is the one that we worship. He is the one. We received his laws in the Tanakh. He is the one that we bow down to, and we will forever serve him. We serve him and we walk in covenant with him. Therefore, we are those who can definitely say flat-footedly that we walk in his laws and statutes, and even the miniature version of his covenant, according to Deuteronomy 4 and 13, stored in 10 declarations. The 10 declarations are actually these: that we will not have any other Elohim, okay, but our Elohim. We will have there is no other Elohim that we would ever give reverence to. We stand for the Most High himself. We will not make any object of divine worship. We will not make any object of divine worship, nor entertain even a mental image of worship. We will not entertain even a mental concept of a foreign deity to bow down to, but we rather will stand with the Most High, and we will have no other Elohim before us. We will not make any image graven of stone, of wood, concocted of anything, not even of our own imagination, but we will worship the Most High. We do not take his presence, his character, or his name in vain. And we do remember to keep Shabbat holy, even as we do no work during the daylight working hours. And for those of us, while we know that we are in exile, many of us are constrained to do that we do not desire to do, which is to work on this day of Shabbat. May the Most High help each and every one of us to follow his laws, statutes, and his commandments, even while we are in exile. And so we pray for the boldness, for the liberty to walk in the statutes of the Most High without hindrance and without hesitation. As well, we honor our mothers and our fathers, that our days may be long upon the earth, and we honor our ancestors, for we stand upon their shoulders. We honor them and appreciate them, for even our Elohim is known by our fathers and through connection with our ancestors, for he is said to be the Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and Yaakov, and we stand with our ancestors, not worshiping newly gods that are newly conjured up. No, we worship that our fathers have known. We worship the true Elohim and him alone. And also, we decree that we will not commit murder by shedding innocent blood. We will not commit adultery by stealing someone else's mate. We will not steal, period. We will not be a false witness. And we will not covet anything that belongs to anyone else, for we know that the Most High has blessings for us, and we don't need to covet or lust for anything that anyone has, because there are bloodhound blessings, I like to call them, bloodhound blessings that are sniffing you out, that are hunting you down. And fam, as I always say, the Most High has a million ways, a million avenues whereby he can bring blessings into your life. Trust in him and stand for him. Stand with him for your protection, as I do. I tell you, every day of my life, I'm standing with the Most High. Yes, as my protector, as my cover, my shield. And yes, he is also the one that holds the bank deposit box key for me. And yes, he knows how to unlock the blessings for me, and I look to see his hand moving in my life every day. There's a million ways that the Most High can find ways of blessing you, and we give him praise, we give him glory and honor, for, hey, his eyes are not dim, neither are his ears deaf to our cry and to our needs and to our understandings. He is with us and we are with him. I say even in prayer all the time, Enachnu Yachad, we are together, Most High. We are together. And we are even a community. We are together. So, hey, we exalt the Most High. We give unto him all the praise, the glory, and the honor. And we live. Yes, we're walking in his covenant. We live in his covenant. And we give him the praise. Well, we love his word, but we also love to pray. And the way that we pray is different, slightly different, because we go within first and we check ourselves to make absolutely sure that we're coming correct, that we're coming before the Most High, having forgiven those that need to be forgiven. And who are those that need to be forgiven? Those that have demonstrated that with a right heart and a right mind, they can do the right thing towards us. Yes, they can do the right thing towards us consistently, and that they are no longer enemies, that they are no longer working against us. Well, if they've proven that, then we forgive them. But if not, then hey, then they are not worthy of forgiveness. I know that's kind of hard to hear sometimes, but truth of it is, they are not worthy of your forgiveness. You would be embracing a trap if you were to trust someone that cannot be trusted, or to open yourself up to someone that has not proven that they will not do you bodily harm. By what legal and logical right would you open yourself up to someone that would do you harm? This is not wisdom, my beloved sister, my beloved brother. This is not wisdom, but we are to walk in the wisdom of the Most High, understanding that yes, the Most High has given unto us the ability to choose. Well, with that being the case, those that have walked before us and demonstrated they are worthy of forgiveness, we forgive. But those that are still a mess in a dress, okay, a brood in a suit, whoever they are, if they are not worthy of your presence, if they are not worthy, then you have no right to forgive them. If they continue to do you wrong, you have absolutely no legal right in the Tanakh to forgive them whatsoever. Dawid HaMelech said, I hate them with a perfect hatred. I know many of us have been Christianized and we've been taught you're just supposed to love everyone and love everything. Well, I say to hell with that. The Tanakh does not sanction that. This is foolishness and this is madness. We are not to be individuals that just swallow everything hook, line, and sinker and be a proverbial doormat for everyone and anyone that would walk upon us. No, this is not the will of the Most High, but rather we are to be wise. Yes, we are to be wise, walk in wisdom, and there are enemies amongst us. Do not be fooled. Walk circumspectly. Well, as I continue to talk about prayer, those that do merit your forgiveness, definitely forgive them. But if there's someone you know that has not walked accordingly with you, well, yeah, we yet keep them at bay. But we can go to the Most High in mercy for them. And as well, if you know that you have sinned and you have fallen short of what the Most High has desired of you, then you can also plead for mercy as well. And this will we do. So at this particular time, we're going to prepare ourselves for prayer. Let's go within and let's have an honest prayer before the Most High. Come to him in truth with your conscience, whether it is pure or impure. Let us address that now so that we can go before the Most High and connect with him peaceably in the beauty of holiness. Let's get ready to pray. Baruch haba el elyon, Baruch haba melech haolam, Baruch haba bekol haaretz, bekol hashemayim. Blessed are you, O Most High. Blessed are you in all of the heavens. Blessed are you in all of the earth. Blessed are you in all of the entire universe. We honor you, we bless you, we praise you as your people. We delight to come before you, Most High. We look up to you in prayer. We outstretch our hands unto you, and we look unto you in prayer, and we acknowledge you, Most High, as being our source. You are our deliverance. You are our salvation. You have been our dwelling place throughout all generations. We are with you. We are connected to you. We are your people. And we acknowledge you. We delight in you, Most High. We say that there is none other but you. There is no Elohim but you, and you are our strength and our salvation. We thank you for watching over us. We thank you for your word that you've given us. We thank you for walking in covenant with you. Thank you for giving us the mercy of another day to demonstrate through actions that we are obedient unto your word. Your mercy is renewed daily unto us as you allow us to arise and give us a mind to work and to live and to harmonize with your word as a community and embrace it and demonstrate it. We thank you for that, Most High, for this is your mercy unto us. You give us the opportunity to not sin where we did sin before, to learn what we did not know, and to live thereby. We thank you for that, and we honor you in that. I lift up every member of this community before you. I lift up Papa Frank. I lift up Penny. I lift up Leonie Croning. I lift her up, not only her, but I also lift up her people that need your help. We lift up Donna, and we lift up all of her people that need your help, that she is praying for. We even pray for her strength, for her well-being, for her strengthening. Let it be said of her, even as Moshe, that her forces did not abate, and that she is a young person, still, yet vibrant, yet full of energy, sharp of mind. And also, Most High, we lift up Mariska Parker's son before you, that you're watching over him and teaching him the lessons that he needs. You're strengthening her and providing for her. And all of us in this time, Most High, for you know the times in which we live. You know the regimes, the political regimes that we're forced to be under in this moment. We thank you that you've made a way for us. You've made a way for us, even in the midst of this, even in our own individual places. It is as if our individual places are Goshen. It is Goshen for us. When we enter under our own roof and through our own doors, however and whatever we may call that, and however that may be, we thank you that your spirit is there and you've transformed it into our Goshen, where we are protected. Hallelujah, where we are protected. All of us, we are protected by you. We hide in the secret place. We abide under the shadow of the Almighty, and we thank you, Most High, that you do protect us from danger, from hurt, from harm. We thank you that you're protecting us even from those who are desperate and those who are afraid and scared and don't know what to do and look out to lash out even against those around them. We thank you. Only with our eyes shall we behold the reward of the wicked. I say it again. Only with our eyes shall we behold the reward of the wicked. And we thank you, Most High, for your ultimate protection. We thank you and we glory in you. We rejoice in you. We say of you that you are our greatest delight on this earth. You are our greatest delight. We seek to please you. It is an honor to work and to worship. It is an honor to acknowledge you as King of Kings and he who is above all, the creator of heaven and earth. And I thank you, Most High. I thank you, Most High. We love you with all of our hearts. You are everything unto us, and we are concerned even about your heart, your thoughts, your desires, in your will. We come to fulfill your desires, Most High. We are mindful of your peace. We're mindful even of your mind and your thoughts, Most High. And we come to serve you. We come to be of service to you. And we're linked together with you. Every one of us in this community, we're linked together with you, your heart, your mind, and pleasing you, Most High. In your name and in your name alone, Most High, we thank you. And we say, Aman wa Aman. Yes. We love the Most High. Yes, and we love to even pray before him. You know what? Not only that, but we also love to give him praise. And so let's give the Most High, let's get ready to give the Most High some praise. Now, you know, I gotta do the disclaimer. Y'all know I can't sing. Y'all know I can't sing, y'all. But guess what? I do sing Why? Because every one of us should give him praise, no matter what we think of our own voices. It's not about us. Don't be so petty into thinking that it's about you and about how your voice sounds and whether or not you sound like Mariah Carey or Stevie Wonder or Eric Benet. Don't even trip, because it's not about that. It's about you giving a pure praise unto the Most High out of a holy heart. Hallelujah. That's what it's about. And so I know I'm a mess up. Okay, ain't even no question about it. I'm a mess up. My voice is gonna crack. It's gonna sound horrible at times. But guess what? I don't care. I'm giving him a pure praise out of my heart. And the reason why I'm doing it, the reason why I put myself out here like this, is because I'm encouraging you to do the same, right? I'm encouraging you, like, look, if he can give praise to the Most High and he's not perfect, I can step out there too. And so I am leading by example. This is what you're to do. You're to give the Most High praise with all of your heart. Yes, with all of your heart, with all of your soul, regardless of your voice. Because my voice is going to crack, my voice is going to mess up, and it's going to be a hot mess at times. But you know what? We give praise to the Most High because it's all about a pure praise before Him. So with that being stated, hey, let's get ready to give Him some praise. Here we go.
Lord, will I direct my prayer unto and I will look up to
All right. We give praise unto the Most High. We give him praise. We give him praise. Yes, we give our prayers unto him. We look up to him and we pray that we know for a fact that he hears. I know for a fact that the Most High hears me. I know that for a fact. He's never failed me. He's never forsaken me. He's always been there with me. And so with that being stated, hey, I want to give some shout outs because we got family here with us. I'm so delighted, man. I tell you, I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, who was the first? Who was the first to turn the lights on? It was my brother from another mother. I'm talking about Bergen Paris, my day one. Peace and blessings to you, my brother, to you and your family. Excuse me, to you and your family. And also, Brother Adrian turned the coffee pot on. Peace and blessings to you, Brother Bergen Paris. He is our Minister of Security and Safety. Brother Adrian, he is our Minister of Economics. And J and P, yes, Josh and Penny, this is the dynamic duo. The dynamic duo, they are also our moderators as well, and they help with the safety and the security around here. Yes, they make sure that things run right, run smooth. They give you scriptures when I call them out, and I really do appreciate you guys. I really do. You guys are my team. I love you, and I tell you, I do appreciate you guys. My brother's here, Ben Naftali. Peace and blessings to you, my brother. I'm glad that you are here. Terry's in the house. Peace and blessings to you, my beloved sister Terry, as well as my beloved sister Miss H is in the house. Peace and blessings to you, Miss H. You know, she's quiet. She sits in the corner, but she's like a sniper. I tell you, she can pick off answers. She's smart, but she's sitting there in the corner, and you may not hear from her, but she's there. And also my sister here, my beloved sister Yehudith Yisrael is here. Peace and blessings to you, my sister, as well. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, really do. As well, we have Elimelech Yisachar here with us. Peace and blessings to you. I see you said that you got a question that may be controversial. We can talk about that. Don't forget it, please, when I open it up for questions, make sure that you throw that in and we'll address it. Michael Charles Marsh is in the building. Peace and blessings to you, Michael Charles Marsh. I appreciate my brother. I'm glad that you're here. Thank you, my brother, for being here. I appreciate your presence. I do. I appreciate your presence. And as well, let's see, who else did? Oh, my brother, George Evans. Peace and blessings to you, George Evans. Glad that you're here, man. Glad that you're here. Interesting. My sister Yehudit says that she didn't get a notification. You know, Facebook has been, between YouTube and Facebook, they have been deleting subscribers, unsubscribing subscribers, and not giving notifications. So make sure that you've got that bell. Make sure that you have, the bell on so that every time we come on, it will notify you. I know sometimes you have to re-hit that bell. They seemingly have been working against us for whatever reason. I tell you, people don't like truth, and it's like they have algorithms to help them fight against the truth, and it's maddening, I tell you. Well, let's do this, and you know what? At this time, it seems as if, we're living in this existence, and think about it, for years, for decades, everything and everyone has been against us. Sometimes even our own have been against us. And you know what? I want you to imagine, because the Most High is turning the tables, and when the tables are turned, and the Most High has his say, the Most High says, you know what? I'm going to repay those that hate me to their face. In other words, I'm going to get up in their face, and I'm going to repay them. They're going to know where the big payback is coming from. Man, I wish I had a soundtrack of that. The big payback. some James Brown up in here. Yeah, hey, love you too, Josh and Penny. Really do love you guys. Really do love you guys. So, with that being the case, and peace and blessings, my sister's here. Yeah, Jacqueline E. Bugs is in the house. Peace and blessings to you, my sister. She says that they changed what the bell looks like for all notifications, and it's as if they're fighting against us. The Hebrew Scholar website was hacked and destroyed. That's being rebuilt and more fortified than ever. And you can do nothing against the truth. You can't do anything against the truth. I mean, but they keep fighting and fighting and fighting. But you can do nothing against the truth. All we have to do is be consistent. All we have to do is just stay on our square and make sure that we're being consistent, right? Sometimes that's where they get us. We get tired. We don't get. We refuse to be consistent. And yeah, my sister Yehudith says, this is a wonderful and fearful at the same time to see Yah's prophecies come to. Yeah, you're right. To see them come to fruition, it really is. It really is. Which is why I'm so thankful that the Most High watches out for us. He has us all in our own little place of Goshen, our place of protection. Hallelujah. And he is our protection. He is our armor. He is our safe place. And yes, his presence is your safe place. We need to understand that. His presence is your safe place, which means as you meditate upon the word and as you meditate upon the praises, yes, listen, the best way that I can explain it is that it's like a force field. I'm telling you, it is like a force field. And you need to know that for a fact. You need to know that. And no one can break through that force field. Okay? No one can. And I give praise to the Most High for that. I give him praise, glory, and honor for that. Let's continue, because as we keep moving right along, we've given shout outs to everyone, and I just simply want to say, and by the way, I agree with you, my sister Yehuda. She says the cream is going to rise to the top, so they can't keep the truth suppressed. And, right now it is just crazy what's going on out here. But hey, we have thanks unto we just have the Most High in our corner, and we give praise and thanks to him that he is with us. Without him, we would not exist. So we give praises unto him. Well, we have a main topic. I want to consider something for a main topic. And the main topic is, where might Eden have been? Where might Eden be? Where might Eden have been? We'll talk about that. We're going to talk about that once I return. We will hit the main topic. We will be right back. My brothers and my sisters, I want to first remind you of the life of Abraham. Well, what does Abraham have to do with Eden? Well, more so than anything, my discussion with you about Abraham my mentioning Abraham has a lot to do not so much with Abraham, not even so much with Eden, but it's how the Most High has proven himself, how he's proven himself and how he acts and what his modus operandi is. In other words, what way does he operate? How does he move? What are his ways? Well, we discover some of his ways by looking at the life of Abraham. We know that for a long time, Abraham was like, hey, you haven't given me any child. I don't have a child. I don't have a son. I don't have a son. I don't have a... And so the Most High did give to him a son. Now, for you and I, we might think, well, the Most High gave unto him that level of physical proficiency in order to have a son called Isaac, right? And then, yeah, now that he's got Isaac, it's like, well, okay, then, okay, job is done, right? Mission accomplished. Then whatever it was, however, the Most High empowered Abraham, the pill wears off or it dwindles. And we're like, yeah, the job is done because Isaac is here. Well, the way that the Most High moves is that he gives the gift, and the gift keeps on giving, because after, you know the story, after Abraham had Isaac, that was not the end of the story, because when Sarah died, okay, when Sarah died, we know what happened. We see where Abraham married a younger wife, Keturah, and had more babies. Abraham had 5 to 7 more children after Isaac. I forget the exact number, okay? And this just shows how the Most High moves, that he's given to have an abundance or to have the blessing that it has, it will continue, right? It will continue. This is my point. So as we take a look, my brothers and sisters, as we take a look at the word of the Most High, and as we consider what the Most High has said concerning the Eden, and concerning the lay of the land, what was going on there, what did they have, so forth and so on. Well, when we take a look here and we understand the lay of the land, these are the blessings of the Most High, and I'm going to introduce to you the possibility that when the Most High said that these lands had the minerals, the gold, and everything that it had in it, I'm suggesting to you that it was continual and that the Most High continues to bless the land with those minerals. And so I want to let that weigh into the picture while we consider where Eden was. Well, let's go into the scriptures here. And let's just kind of pay attention what it says, because now this is actually talking about the man that the Most High put in the garden. Now, I'm going to begin at Bereshit 2, and I'm going to begin at verse number 7. Notice what it reads. And Yah, Elohim, formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. And Yah Elohim planted a garden eastward in Eden. Now, please, I need to let you know that this was not planted by anyone else but by the Most High. I've had some to kick back on me, even after reading this, and say, no, the Most High did not plant a garden. He didn't do it. He didn't know. The scriptures read that the Most High is the one that planted the garden. Now, I believe that this was in demonstration before Adam. Okay, and it says, and there he put the man whom he had formed. So he had already formed the man, and then he put the man in the Garden of Eden that he himself planted. And notice what it reads in verse 9, and out of the ground made Yah Elohim to grow every tree that is pleasant for sight, and good for food, the tree of life also in the midst of the garden, which they could eat of at any time. They didn't have a problem eating from the tree of life. And there was a tree of the knowledge of good and evil. As we continue, and the river went out of Eden And so we're discussing Eden here, and notice what it reads. It says that a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from thence it was parted and became into four heads. The name of the first is Pishon. Okay? The first is Pishon. That is it, which encompasses the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold. Ah, there's a key right there. Land where there is gold. Havilah. And the gold of that land is good. There's bdellium and onyx stone. And the name of the second river is Gihon. The same is it that encompasses the whole land of Ethiopia, or Cush. Okay, so we're talking about the interior of Africa here when we look at the Gihon. And the name of the third river is Hiddekel, and it is that which goes toward the east of Assyria. And the fourth river is Euphrates. And Yah took the man and put him in the garden to dress it and to keep it. See that? To dress it and to keep it. So all of this then is discussing about the garden and where the Garden of Eden was. Now, why is this a topic worthy of our discussion, worthy of our time? It's a topic that's worthy of our time mainly because the day and age in which we live, where on one hand, it's almost as if, it's like somebody at a rummage sale. And they find something that is extremely valuable, and they down talk it, they want to buy it for pennies, when really it means everything to them. And this is what's happening with Africa and with those of us who are, dark-skinned people. They talk about us and whatever, but we are valuable, not just to society, but we're valuable to the world at large. If you took away everything that and I know, my brothers and sisters, I just need to say this because, again, they are setting up to kill many of our people. And I feel as if I have to do everything that I can possibly do in order to stop genocide from happening. I want to stop genocide. I want to stop the genocide of our people from happening. I don't want to see anyone die. I don't want to see anyone of any race, any creed die. But I have to stand up for my people first and say, because they're really trying to kill us the most. I mean, listen, oh my goodness, I could go on and on talking about this, but you know that this is a real thing. I've had people to come up to me, white people, to say, if we call the police on you, you're going to die because the police are going to kill you. The thing about it is, and of course, I have done nothing for someone to call the police on, but it's just that now we are very fearful for our lives. Okay, even after 400 years, we're fearful for our lives. And there is widespread genocide that is, people want a race war. They want to get rid of us. I saw on television some guy who was wearing a red hat said, hey, we need to go door to door and just cleanse this country, right? You know what he's saying, even without him saying it. They want to kill us. And so these topics are important. They're important because we need people to see the value in not just who we are, but the value in even our land over there in Africa. And we know that they know the value because the whole world is trying to get the minerals that are there. But anyway, let's continue. And I know I just went on kind of a soapbox there, but I'm really trying to stop the genocide of our people. I really am. I'm trying to stop our people from being killed. I'm trying to stop our people from being in harm's way. And I'm trying to show that there is value in us, okay? And it's not even so much for them because they know our value, but we need to see our value so that we unite together and we stop these things from happening, okay? This is, of course, of great importance. Well, let's get back into the scripture here, because there are rivers that are mentioned here, okay? And out of these rivers that are mentioned, I need you to understand something, that these are places that exist today, but they are places that may exist under a different name. Yes, I said it. There are places that exist, but places that exist under a different name. Like, for instance, when it mentions in Bereshit 2 verses 10 through 14, it describes Eden as the source of 4 rivers. We already named them: the Pishon, the Gihon, the Tigris, and the Euphrates. The Gihon, as I've already mentioned, is said to wind through the land of Cush, okay, which is basically, we understand that to be Ethiopia, Nubia, okay. But we're talking about the interior of Africa, south of Egypt, into the Sahara. Okay, so thus Cush actually identifies, it leaves open the possibility geographically that Eden may have been, could have been within the interior of Africa. Now think about it for a second. Again, remember the principle that I mentioned with Abraham. The Most High blesses and he keeps on blessing. Well, look at the mineral wealth. When we read Bereshit chapter 2, verses 11 and 12, notice what it reads. It talks about basically that there's gold, okay? There's a lot of gold over there, okay? And that gold of that land is good. So we're talking about a good cache of gold that's in the land. Also, there are other minerals which are represented by bdellium and onyx stone. So in other words, we're talking about a place that is rich in minerals, a place that is rich in gold, okay? And we're talking about a place that has these different rivers running through them. Well, it has been said of many that these rivers and that the land itself, basically these are yet existent today, but they exist under a different name. And the name that people have found them to be, well, we're going to talk about it. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag just yet. But also when we consider even the zoology of the Tanakh, it lets us know that we're definitely talking about a certain landmass. We're talking about a particular ecological system that exists on a particular continent. And if we talk about it, it's interesting, and it gets even more interesting when we consider something else. Think about it. If Eden was the beginning of mankind, and it was, okay, however, it's been put in a mythological form, or they say that, well, it was just cultural memory, and then it was written in Genesis. Be that as it may, here's my point. When you look at the fact that today in Johannesburg and in its surrounding communities, they have something that is very interesting. In Johannesburg, they have more proof, okay? They have more proof. In fact, they have some of the oldest fossils, okay? Some of the oldest fossils known to man. I'm talking about fossilized human remains that go back 3.5 million years. 3.5 million years and more, okay? 2 to 4 million years. The cradle of humankind near Johannesburg, South Africa, is an extraordinary archaeological site offering the richest and arguably the oldest record of human fossils. Where is that found? It's in Johannesburg, South Africa. Again, within the interior of Africa. Okay? And these hominin fossils, they have they've looked at them and they've dated them to be 2 to 4 million years old, including Australopithecus and early Homo species, which from crucial evidence for the origin of humanity in South Africa. So once again, think about it for a second. If you're saying that mankind began in Eden, and oh, by the way, we have the oldest fossils known to humanity to come out of South Africa, the interior of Africa, then what we're saying is there is a possibility that Eden very definitely was in Africa. And this very possibly places the entire book of the Tanakh within, even though it would go contrary to what many scholars are saying today, the evidence itself seems to point to a deeper territory within sub-Saharan Africa as being ground zero for the Tanakh, for Eden, and even for, yes, even for the biblical narrative itself as we find it in the Tanakh. That being the case, we cannot help but to ask ourselves, wait a minute, if it's true, if it is true that the minerals are there, even today, if Africa were to stop, by the way, France is getting a taste of this right now because Burkina Faso said, we ain't giving you no more platinum. By the way, if we do, we're going to charge you what we should have been charging you, right? While you go and you make money off of us. And here we are, we're dirt poor, and we're giving you our wealth, right? And so they have been used to exploiting people. The people of Burkina Faso, they've been used to exploiting them, as well as all the others in Africa. They're exploiting them for their minerals, for their gold. And it is impossible for the modern world to exist without the minerals and the wealth of Africa. I will say it again. It is impossible for the world to exist without the minerals from Africa. Now, wait a minute. Stop. Think about this for a second. Think about the end times and think about what the Most High has said. The Most High has said that he is going to gather all the nations together. Okay? He's going to gather all the nations together, and they're going to come against Israel. Now, I just want you to consider this logically, if you will. Okay? Now, please keep in mind these nations that are going to gather together against Israel. All right? The Most High said that he's going to bring all the nations together. And the reason why he is going to do this is so that basically he can wipe out all the nations. Okay? So that he can wipe out all of the nations that have come against Israel. He said that he's going to wipe them out. Well, let's just kind of think about this for a second. These nations are not, many of these nations, they are satanic, they're demonic, they're not coming against us solely for spiritual or religious purposes. They're greedy, they want the mineral wealth, okay? And if it's true that Israel has the mineral wealth and that it has that is rich in gold and rich in, I can see where all the nations, if Israel truly is, and the people truly are sub-Saharan African, and if this is truly where they belong, then yes, I can see how the Most High has orchestrated things so that they will come against Africa to get the minerals, okay? And lo and behold, they're thinking that they're going to take over Israel. And by the way, there's a reason why they want to stop us as a nation. There's a reason why they're against us. There's a reason why all of these things have happened, right? It's because of our blessings. They want our blessings. They want what we have, and they want to take it away. Now, the Most High said that they're going to all gather, okay, against Israel, right? And they're going to do this, but the Most High is not going to let them succeed. Again, he is our safety. He is our judge. He is our salvation, right? And so with that being stated, the Most High said, hey, I've got control of this. I'm not going to let them do it. But listen, I'm doing this on purpose. I'm letting them gather together against you so that they can be destroyed. Okay? So that they can be destroyed. And so this then is what we're looking for. This then is what we're believing that the Most High is going to do. He's going to orchestrate all of this. Okay? And then he's going to bring about our deliverance. All praises to the Most High that is bringing about our deliverance even in these times. So, the nations, Most High said that the nations shall rise against us. But the Most High said, you know what? I'm going to be there to protect you. And it makes sense when you consider the minerals. When you consider the minerals and the reason why someone would want to take over this holy land that now we understand is Africa. I know it's somewhat controversial. Maybe this should have been in the controversial corner. But hey, it's just one of those things where it just simply makes sense logically. It makes sense when you consider it. It makes sense. Despite the narrative that they've spun, the web that they have spun, it makes sense when you look at the facts, when you look at the truth, when you look at the fact that there are the oldest fossils known to humankind right there in Johannesburg, South Africa. South Africa has minerals, oil, anything that we need as a modern people. It's right there. And lo and behold, the description of Eden is that it is mineral rich. And behold, all of Africa is just mineral rich. It is amazing. And there is a high probability, there is a high level of probability that the sub-Saharan Africa and Africa itself is indeed connected with Eden or a part of Eden, and that it is part of the biblical heritage from which we all began. But that being the case, my brothers and sisters, this has been just a look inside, wondering where Eden is, and I'm just simply saying, hey, consider it as a possibility. Be right back and we'll open it up for questions. I want to ask you a question. Would you pick up a French dictionary in order to help you define Spanish? Would you pick up a book on physics to help you understand the simplicities of cooking a recipe? No, you would not. You need the right reference material for the particular job at hand. And the Most High has given us a job of living the life according to the laws, statutes, and commandments that He has given. Why do I bring up this dichotomy? Why do I bring up this question? Because that is what many of us are doing. We are using reference works that are Christian in origin, nature, and bias, and we're having to gain a a purely Hebraic understanding from them. And this, my dear brothers and sisters, is insane. I'm looking, need your help. I'm looking to foster Hebraic scholarship. So we've started the Hebrew Scholar magazine, and with this, there's something for the entire family, but there's also a platform to be able to develop new, young, and budding scholars. We want scholars that are going to basically produce materials from our perspective with our truth that's for us, that's by us, and that's going to benefit us and help us throughout all generations. I'm Melky Uriel. I want you to subscribe to the magazine. I need you to subscribe to the magazine. We want to reach our first goal of 500 subscribers. And then, of course, we want to go to 1,000 and move on from there. But bottom line of it is, we need this for the nation, for the community. We need this for Israel. We need our own scholars. And it's time that we began to invest in our own scholarship. So help us out. Go to thehebrewscholar.com. We'll see you there. Shalom. Now is the time to ask your questions. Yes, address your questions to me or call in, and we will address your questions or your comments. All right, now is the time to ask. Yes, you can. You can ask. Let me check in the chat room to see what you all are talking about. Yes. Okay, so the first question here. Let's see here. Hold on, hold on. We have opened it up. Thank you, my sister Munapua says, totally agree. Let's see here. The first question comes, let's see, is this in relationship to? Okay. I'm going to address your question, Elimelech Yissachar. I'm going to address your question, but I'm going to address the questions related to the topic first, and then I will get to your questions, okay? Your question. So, my sister Jacqueline asked the question, have you shared that the distance to Africa is a few miles and not as far as the heathen makes it seem? I understand that there was some, concerning the Grand Canyon. Some said that they've walked only, they walked 45 minutes, and they went from the Grand Canyon all the way to basically Africa. And while me myself personally, I don't have that experience. I heard that said. It's one of those things that's interesting to me, because when I get on a plane and when I go to Africa, I mean, it takes hours, right? So while that may be true, if what they're saying is true, then maybe there's a secret passage. There's a lot about this planet that we still don't know. There's a lot about this earth that is still a mystery to us. It's very possible, okay? And I just right now, I haven't proven that. Though I did hear that. I can't substantiate that. Some have even stated that the United States is Egypt. The United States is Egypt proper, and that the pharaohs are over here. And by the way, there are more. There are more pyramids over here than what has been televised and what has been put, in the mainstream media. There are all the pyramids that are over here has not even been told. So it leaves you to wonder, and there's so much truth that they've hidden from us, so much truth that they have not given us, until it's simply amazing. Really, it's amazing at how, if we knew the truth, I'm telling you, it would stun us, it would startle us, which is why almost on a daily basis I'm asking Mazehamet, which is Hebrew for what is the truth? What is the truth? And so, if we were to know the truth, I'm sure it would astound us. It would amaze us. We'd be like, man, these people have been hiding all these truths from us all these years. That, hey, we long for the truth. And that's something that I would need to see, uncovered, if you will. Michael Charles Marsh says, does that mean the land they are saying is Israel is where it is now? No, it doesn't. In fact, you'll find, man, I've got a book. I don't know if I have it down here now. But in this book, it considers that, and listen, back in the 1940s, they were considering, before the 1948 coming back to quote-unquote Israel, they were actually going to have Israel be in the Congo. They were going to have Israel to be in the Congo, which is deeper within Africa. And then they decided on Palestine, and so now Israel is in Palestine. So, in fact, there is a videotape of one of the Rockefellers talking about how they invented the Jewish, something about inventing, the whole Jewish, conflict, not the conflict, but from what I understand, in inventing the modern day Jewish country and settlement, okay? These were done by people with money, and long story short, at first they were going to go to the Congo, but then they were like, no, change our mind, it's going to be Palestine. And now look at it. Please understand that this is how the enemy works, my brothers and sisters. They will expend human life in order to make their narrative real. This is how they make their narrative real. They, it's like, I was watching a movie and they said it just got real. Yeah, that's when it becomes real, when they actually spill human blood over their particular idea or what they want to do. When they spill blood, then it becomes like a real issue. And so they have been killing people in Gaza, and I tell you, it is, you would think to yourself, surely they would not kill people over some idea, over a wish, over a plan. But believe me when I tell you, these people are wicked. They are very wicked, and they do not have the knowledge and the wisdom of the Most High in them at all. With that being the case, my brothers and sisters, hey, there's a lot that would be changed. Once again, if the truth were known, if the truth was discussed, there would be a lot that we would come into the knowledge of. Amunapua says, if the Garden of Eden was given to Shem as his portion, how is it that it's in the land of Ham? Well, if you look at the land of what is known to be the land of Shem actually encompasses a lot of Africa, to the east of Africa, all the way up until the Nile, and all the way as far south as, like, for instance, where, oh my goodness, I'm looking at the map and the name of it escapes me right now. All the way down through around like Eritrea, okay? And you're right, Christine Cronin, there have been so many lies told. There have been so many lies told. If you look at my sister said, I thought it said 3 days walk. If you look at, and see, this is why it looks like things have been so mixed up. And there's a lot about this that I even would like to look further into, okay? But my sister says, well, if the Garden of Eden was given to Shem as his portion, how is it that is in the land of Ham? Okay, now, all of Africa is not the land of Ham. Okay, all of Africa is not the land of Ham, but Shem again was given, a great portion of this, the land that, in fact, I had a map. Oh, let's see here if I can pull this map up. I had a map of the land as it was given to the patriarchs, and I am not finding that right now. I'm not finding that now. There are some things that I'm yet questioning regarding Africa's role in it being Eden and so forth and so on. There's a lot there that I think need to be unpacked. One of the things that's hard for me is I don't know. I can't see Titus and Vespasian going into sub-Saharan Africa. It's just, I just can't see it. I can't, and it's hard for me to grasp that. Yeah, okay, well, they changed the maps and okay, I can get with that. But to the extent that they would have to change the maps and things would have to be rerouted, I'm still trying to wrap my mind around that. I don't, that's not conclusive for me right now. I don't have all the answers when it comes to that. However, I'm just looking at the facts, I'm looking at truth, and I'm saying, hey, based upon these things, is it possible that Eden is in Africa? And yes, I do believe that it is. Other things have got to be ironed out, I know. Okay, my sister Yehudith says, the video about the man traveling through the Grand Canyon seems impossible because of military guarding areas of it, that they would not allow them to make it out of there. And that's very true. I know that to be true. There's parts of the Grand Canyon you can't even, it's like they don't even want you to look at it. You can't fly over it. Okay. And I agree. So what about that? Unless this is a whistleblower that was in the military saying this. But again, I don't know that to be true. I don't know enough of the facts around this to be able to make this so. And And you're right. My sister Christine Croning says Negro land was in Africa, and that is where many Israelites ended up. Very true. In fact, even if you go to, well, let's see here if I can pull this. There is a map that I have. There is a map that I have at, I want to, okay, so I'm not able to pull the map up at this time. There was a map, there's a picture that I wanted to show you, and I can't pull it up at this time. Looks like this is one of the sites where we've got some work being done, and yeah, we're just going to mosey right along, brothers and sisters. So with that being the case, I can't show you the picture that I would want to show you. No, can't show you the picture that I want to show you. But anyway. It's a picture of Negro land, and right where you see, you have Togo, you have Ghana, okay, and you have Nigeria, and long story short, that was the place, and above it as well, it said Negro land. And I had a map. I could show you a picture of that, but I'm not able to show that to you right now, but it's definitely true. So once again, when you consider that, it makes it seem even more feasible, right? Terry says, I do not know how it is the land flowing with milk and honey if everyone comes to the so-called U.S. and prosper, all but us. This is indeed a topic for more insight and prayers for truth. And really, think about it for a second. All the minerals, now if you're talking about Africa, it's true, they wouldn't come here to prosper, not because they don't have the wealth and not because they don't have the minerals. They're not allowed to use and to benefit from their own wealth, which again, my brothers and sisters, would really harmonize with the truth that's found in the Tanakh when it mentions that no one will be able to take advantage of them any longer. Let me bring that up. Let me bring that up because that is a part of what we see here. Look at what it reads here in Jeremiah. Yirmiyahu. It says here in Yirmiyahu, it says, you know what? Talking about what we know to be the time of Jacob's trouble, okay? It says, for it shall, verse 8, Jeremiah 30:8, for it shall come to pass that in that day that Yah Sabaoth, he says that I will break his yoke from off your neck, and he will burst your bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of him. In other words, people have been exploiting and taking advantage of them, and that is what you see going on the continent of Africa, where individuals are exploiting. Now, here's what I would want to ask, okay? Who is exploiting the modern day, modern day Jewry, where they're owning the banks, they're owning Hollywood and everything else? Who's exploiting them? No one is exploiting them. So they do not fit this particular scripture. They do not fit this particular motif. But guess who does fit this particular motif? People are exploiting us. People are exploiting Africans. And yes, they're coming to the United States because their wealth is being stolen from them. They have been manipulated out of their wealth. Their leaders are selling them out. So yeah, they're coming here not because they're not wealthy. They're coming here is because their wealth is being stolen from them. But that's a good point, Terry. But yeah, their wealth is being stolen from them. Yeah, that's true. My brother Ben Naftali says, many people who hold to this theory deny that the slave trade actually happened. I don't deny that the slave trade actually happened. I believe that the slave trade did happen. Otherwise, we wouldn't have the logs that we have. Again, going by the evidence, looking at the evidence, yes, there is evidence to prove that, yes, there are logs where the slaves' names were written and they were on the ships. And we just simply have to say, hey, Once again, that's evidence. Um, and my sister Jacqueline Bug says Canaan was to live in our land according to this scripture, which is very true. Which is Ham inclusive. And by the way, looking at Joseph is Ham inclusive, Ham included. When you look at the fact that Joseph, you talk about Ephraim and Manasseh, they are the joining together of the Shemitic and the Hamitic brotherhood together. Okay, and Israel said, "My name shall be called." Okay. You will be called by my name. So in other words, Israel, there is a place where the Hamitic is brought in, okay, with the Shemitic. You got to understand that. And this would bring you back to Bereshit, the 10th chapter, where it talks about the League of Nations. And if you look at the League of Nations closely, you'll find something very astounding. You'll find that the Shemitic brotherhood that stands before Yah is but a subset of a larger community whose eyes, basically the Most High's eyes, are before them. Okay, I'll let you study that out for yourself. You'll come to the conclusion, you'll see it, your eyes will be open, you'll be like, okay, then you will understand why Manasseh and Ephraim, why they are an integral part of what the Most High is doing. So, yeah. Let's continue. And George Evans says there is a city named Yaha in Ethiopia, and that is named after Yah Most High. And how long was it a city? I mean, see, these are, and by the way, there are other names. There are other names of cities in the interior of Africa that match the biblical narrative, that match the narrative of the Tanakh. Okay, but my question is, I need evidence. I need to see older maps to show me that these were the names. Okay. Back in antiquity, and not just something that's newly named after, newly named Jerusalem. I mean, please. You got Jerusalem, Tennessee, don't you? And Goshen, Tennessee. I mean, you've got places that, named Goshen, places. So, again, I need more evidence. Okay? Terry says they have lied about everything. They stole our identity. Why wouldn't they also? Oh, we got a call.
Call from Adrian.
All right. Shabbat shalom, my brother. Can you hear me? Okay, 1 second. Let me... My brother, can you hear me? Hello. My brother, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Ah, good. How are you, my brother?
So, I'm well. How are you?
Hey, I'm blessed of the Most High. Glad to hear your voice.
You as well. I didn't want anything much. I know we have a hot topic and a lot of questions going for it. I just want to make sure we don't forget Brother Limberlake's question in our, chat. So that's all. Just
Okay.
A reminder.
Well, thank you, my brother. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely. Shalom.
All right. Bless you, my brother. And okay. Glad that my brother is reminding me, because this is a topic, and there's a lot here. There's a lot to unpack. Okay. And I was reading what Terry said. Terry said they have lied about, and that's so true. They lie about absolutely everything. They've lied about everything. They stole our identity. Why wouldn't they also steal the land, especially with us forgetting who we were until the awakening, which is occurring now? I agree with you. Wholeheartedly. My sister Yehudith Israel says a lot of information about post-Civil War, and knowing that Israelites were here before European occupation is getting mixed together, and many want to assume that U.S. is our land. Well, yeah, they do. Taking a look then at this, let me read what Terry said. Terry says, I will never believe we all were brought here on ships. Too many of us. When you Google people coming to the U.S. on ships, it is not us that we see. And because, of course, I mean, the only time that we would have come over, according to the narrative, is on slave ships, which I guess there were, 12 million? Over 12 million? And over 1.2 million that were, no, wait a minute, hold on, I'm getting that wrong. There was over 12 million of us that were stolen, and a number of other million of us that were lost, and I forget the exact numbers, but anyway, getting through all of these, hold on. Okay, so with what you said, Terry, you said, I will never believe that we were all brought over here on ships. When you look at the research of Dr. Sheikh Anta Diop, he said that the beginning of every civilization and on every continent was nothing but black men and black women. Now, that's what he said. He's a scientist, and he also did some DNA testing on the mummies. Okay, and this, of course, was something very interesting, and of course they wanted to ignore a lot of his work because it proved that the people who were the Egyptians were melanated, they were black people, and they were even considered to be, just black people. I mean, basically, just your average black person. Amunapua asked, so it was Joseph that received the double portion of land. Joseph was not the firstborn. Okay, now, even though Reuben was the firstborn, Reuben forfeited his birthright when he slept with one of his father's concubines. Okay, so he forfeited his birthright. Okay, and Joseph then, when Joseph went into ancient Kemet and so forth and so on, he simply was blessed by the Most High. He did not receive a double portion of land. He did not receive a blessing, if you will, from his father to that degree. Okay, but when you look at the blessing in Bereshit 49, you'll see that Joseph was blessed, okay, by means of Ephraim and Manasseh. Joseph had a particular blessing, okay, that was not the proverbial double portion. So Joseph just had his own blessing that relates to how the Most High led him into Kemet and so forth and so on, and saved the day, saved the land, so forth and so on. Well, as we continue here, getting to the end, let's see. My sister Yehuda Israel says Ham was given this portion of the earth so that may be why we have more pyramids than Africa. I mean, could be. I guess that's a good point. I hadn't considered that, but that's a good point. Well, as we can see, this is such a good topic, and I'm only going to address those things that are labeled for me to address. George Evans says that Yeha dates back to the 5th century before the Common Era. I believe they even have a temple there. And see, this is why I feel like more research needs to be done. More research needs to be done on the history of these places that have these names, these biblical names, or theophoric names. Okay. Okay, all right, I think I've addressed all those. Let me go back up to the question. that I said that I would get back to, which comes from Elimelech. Let me find it. Scrolling. There we go. Here's my question. Elimelech Yisachar says, here's my question. Exodus 12. Aviv is the first month of the year, starting from day 1. Okay? 6 working days and the Shabbat day. How would it work together? Okay, very good question. Okay? But if you notice, let me give you this as an example. A new day of a new month would be the numerical day of that new month. Okay, let's say if that new day came in on a Wednesday. As you look at your calendar, let's say that that month began on a Wednesday of the week. What you'll find is that the week runs on its own calendar, so to speak, and the days of the month, just like our days of the month, the beginning of the month may fall on a Monday, may fall on a Wednesday. Well, that does not interrupt the week itself, because the week continues on. It is the week, by the way, we did research and we could not see where the days of the week were ever changed. Okay, we did not see where they were ever changed. The numerical date of the month changed and the day of the month changed, but never the day of the week. Never was a Saturday change into a Sunday or a Saturday change into a Wednesday. It was always, as the beginning, flowing from the first day of the week all the way through to the second. So here's what you find. In Bereshit 1:14, the sun was actually created on what we would call the 4th day. Okay? With that being the case, then if that's the beginning of the month, with the beginning of the sun and the moon beginning their cycles, how can that begin in the middle of a week unless the week has its own running calendar and then the month falls within the week's succession of weeks? So that being the case, even when you consider the Enochian calendar and you consider the Enochian calculation of the months and the days, you'll find that the week runs consistently and then the month fits in under the week. So while it may be the first day of the month, that has nothing to do with it being the 7th day of the week, if that makes sense. I know it sounds very confusing, it sounds very interesting, but I did some teaching on that, and maybe we need to revive that. Maybe, I don't know, I invite you to take a look at what I did, because I spent a lot of time talking about it. I spent a lot of time dealing with it. So hopefully that's something that you can check out. Maybe we'll have to look at that again. I'd be happy to, but for right now, I'm just going by by memory and what we understand. Well, my brothers and sisters, we have exhausted the questions and comments concerning that topic. We're getting ready to go to the next one. Be right back. right, just before we get into our next segment, our brother Michael Charles Marsh, he's asking, hey, read Ezekiel 36 and 35. So here we go. We're going to read Ezekiel 36 and 35, and it reads this, and they shall say, this land that was desolate is become like the Garden of Eden. Okay? And the waste and the desolate and the ruined cities are become fenced and are inhabited. Okay? So the Most High definitely has a plan for us, and it's to bring us into a place that's like the Garden of Eden. Whether we find the old one or not, hey, the Most High is like, look, I got you. I'm going to set you up. Don't even worry about it. I got you. So with that being the case, hey, here we go. We're going to go into our next segment. Thank you for that, Brother Charles Marsh. And hey, going into our next segment right now.
From Trump winning in 2020. To smart watches and scientific discoveries. The Simpsons have made many predictions. From Trump winning in 2024 to smart watches and scientific discoveries, The Simpsons have made many predictions that have already come true. But what predictions does the show have for 2025? The Simpsons already predicted Trump becoming president all the way back in 2000.
As you know, we've inherited quite a budget crunch from President Trump.
And in 2015 predicted him winning again in 2024. But a future Simpsons prediction concerns Ivanka Trump. In the 2016 episode Treehouse of Horror 27, Homer can be seen wearing a badge that says Ivanka 2028, predicting that Trump's daughter Ivanka may run for president in 2028, and that in 2025 she will get more involved in politics than ever before. Ivanka has been seen in the White House many times, and it's believed Trump will pick one of his kids to continue the family's influence.
I'm sorry, but I know that Barron is growing up, but dude just looked like a vampire to me, man. I'm sorry.
And political legacy. Ivanka already served in Trump's first administration. Could 2025 be the year she gets even more involved in politics, potentially gearing up for a presidential run in 2028? We'll have to wait and see. But an even crazier Simpsons prediction for 2025 is economic collapse. In the 2000 episode Back to the Future, The Simpsons show an economic collapse, which happened during Trump's presidency.
We're broke. The country is broke?
Suggesting economic collapse may be coming in the next 4 years. Many believe this may already be happening.
Now, is it possible? I mean, I'm just wondering, okay, because like when you go to a bank, right, and the bank looks at your history and they say, well, based upon your history, there's no way in HE double hockey sticks we're going to lend you any money. This man has been bankrupt 5 different times. And you mean to tell me that you're going to think that he's going to prosper the country when he doesn't know how to prosper his own businesses?
Items like eggs have risen in price 20% since the beginning of the year, and inflation is still high. The USA has been printing trillions of dollars, meaning that inflation is likely to get even worse. Not only that, interest rates are very high, leading to people losing their jobs and houses. According to most economists, this will get even worse in 2025. The Simpsons predict this economic downturn to take place during Trump's presidency, and it seems like their prediction is already coming true. Another scarily accurate Simpsons prediction is self-driving cars going rogue. In the episode Baby You Can't Drive My Car, the Simpsons show autonomous vehicles going rogue. Homer is in a self-driving car, but the car won't stop, taking Homer on a wild ride. In 2025, we've seen this already, with a man getting trapped inside a self-driving Waymo taxi. When this took place, many pointed out the Simpsons predicted this nearly 8 years ago. In 2025, autonomous vehicles are expected to double, meaning we may see even more serious problems.
So think about it for a second. I mean, yeah, these things are coming to pass, and it's crazy because now, brothers and sisters, believe it or not, you can actually buy a robot to do your dishes and cook your food. I kid you not. My sister Yehudit asked me, hey, speaking of Barron, did you hear about the book, The Last President? Yes, which is crazy because, yeah, there's a Barron Trump, and some have even, suggested that maybe Barron is a time traveler because of that. Well, I don't know. Was someone time traveling to write a book like that and talk about the president and the last president and Barron Trump? And I mean, it's just crazy what goes on. It's crazy what the possibilities are, especially when they're hiding so much truth from us. And Amuna Pua says, tell me about it. I'm still trying to wrap my head around how someone can bankrupt casinos. I mean, like, really? Man, casinos make money literally hand over fist like it ain't nothing. But he bankrupt a casino? Are you serious? Oh my goodness, man. It's just unreal. And you think he's going to prosper the nation and care about you when he's been a millionaire all his life? Nah.
Earlier this year, this Tesla crashed into a highway divider in California.
Already self-driving cars have begun to crash, which can happen when the sensors break or malfunction, just as The Simpsons predicted. Another major Simpsons prediction is the 2025 World Cup. In the episode The Cartridge Family, there was a reference to the World Cup final. The two teams mentioned were Mexico and Portugal. These two teams have not yet played against each other in the World Cup final, meaning that 2025 may.
Okay, my sister Jacqueline Bug says Trump is using secrets that I have tried to introduce to the chat, but no one seems interested. We can get back every dime that we deposit into the bank yearly. I want to know more about that, y'all. I do, my sister. Can you listen? Can you provide information about that and maybe even talk to us about that? I want to see, because that is, or forward me the information, whatever. Because I need to see how that works for real.
Be the year. The two teams did face off during the 2017 FIFA Confederations Cup, meaning that they may play each other again during the World Cup final, which will take place in the USA. Just like in the Simpsons episode, the USA has not hosted a World Cup since 1994, which was before the episode even aired, meaning that this wild prediction could come true. An even more likely Simpsons prediction for 2025 is colonizing Mars. In the 2015 episode Friend with Benefit, the government starts looking for volunteers to move to Mars. The episode ends with a glimpse into the year 2051, which shows Mars fully colonized by the USA.
Like, has anyone heard about Mars? Is that like a thing right now? Is that a thing, y'all? Hold on. You know what? I'm gonna do a search right now. Hold on. Let me see something here. I'm gonna do a search. Colonizing Mars. Okay, in the bulletin. Let's see here. Okay. Elon Musk, the world's richest man and CEO of SpaceX and Tesla, is intent on creating a 1 million person colony on Mars, and I wonder what color they're going to be. I wonder, right? Who's he going to choose for that? Is intent on creating a 1 million person colony on Mars as the head of the Department of the Government of Efficiency. Musk also seems content to break anything that stands in his way, including potentially a Cold War era treaty that has kept humanity safe for 500 years. And by the way, they do have an outer space treaty, by the way, which is interesting. But okay. So there is something going on there as far as that's concerned. Interesting.
2 years after this episode aired, Elon Musk announced his plans to colonize Mars, with the date shown in the episode exactly lining up with Elon Musk's plan to have 1 million people on Mars by 2050. Fast forward to 2025, and Musk is indeed looking for people to move to Mars. It's also believed Mars colonization will begin in 2025, with unmanned ships being flown to Mars. Musk is now more powerful than ever before, and in January, Trump stated he wants an American flag planted on Mars.
We will pursue our manifest destiny into the stars, launching American astronauts to plant the stars and stripes on the planet Mars.
Making the
Manifest destiny. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, I just need a minute. Manifest destiny was something that was invented by a magazine author, one who wrote an article for a magazine, and it stuck, and it literally went viral, and they use that as an excuse to genocide and to colonize under the label of manifest destiny. In other words, it's God's will for us to do these things, and so hey, he's all right with it, so we're okay, and yeah, it's God's will. Man, I just have a problem with that, my brothers and sisters. But anyway, just a little bit more.
This Simpsons prediction eerily accurate. But a much darker Simpsons prediction for 2025 involves AI robots. In the 2012 episode, Them Robot, Mr. Burns replaces all of the workers at the power plant with robots, causing everyone to lose their jobs. The workers train the robots and then were replaced by them.
These are robots. You will train them, and they will replace you.
Which is exactly how AI works in real life. In 2025, many experts have said that AI will take a lot of jobs, with Elon Musk saying that in the future, probably none of us will have a job. A 2025 report found that 41% of companies plan to replace some workers with AI this year. AI-related job losses are expected to be at an all-time high in 2025, with many restaurants adopting AI waiters, AI taxi companies like Waymo getting popular, Amazon using AI drones to deliver packages, and ChatGPT and similar apps taking many other jobs. Of course, the training and data for all of this AI comes from humans, exactly like what happened in The Simpsons. The Simpsons also predict that one day AI will go rogue. This actually took place in the 1994 episode Itchy and Scratchy Land, where AI robots turned against humans. The Simpsons also predicted this in the episode I, Dobot. If you think this sounds far-fetched, then think again. A Google AI engineer recently lost his job after warning that Google's AI had become sentient, meaning that it could learn from itself and also feel things, no longer listening to the human engineers. Many important industries are using AI more than ever, making the concept of AI going rogue incredibly scary, but it's something we may well see in 2025. Another Simpsons prediction for this year is VR. With Meta Quest and Apple Vision Pro, it seems VR is more popular than ever before. But according to Mark Zuckerberg, we haven't even begun to see what VR can do. In the 2000 episode But to the Future, the Simpsons eat food using a VR headset. Fast forward to 2025, and VR food is a real thing. A company named Aero Banquets RMX has made this, using VR to change your taste perception, reframing the human mind, changing how we experience food. VR is entering more and more restaurants in 2025, allowing you to experience tastes you've never had before. The Simpsons also predicted the downsides of VR, showing people getting injured while wearing VR headsets, which is exactly what's happening now in 2025. But an even scarier Simpsons prediction is black holes. In the 2013 episode Treehouse of Horror 23,
CERN.
A black hole appears in Springfield, pulling everyone inside it and taking them to another dimension. Scarily, in February 2025, thousands of new black holes were discovered in areas it was thought they couldn't exist. Black holes are still something of a scientific mystery, as it's not known what happens if you get pulled inside one. But scientists are trying to make their own black hole here on Earth, in the hopes we can study and understand them. This is being done using the Large Hadron Collider at CERN. Scientists are trying to make mini black holes, but many people are very worried about this, saying that these black holes may grow and begin to swallow up the planet, just as The Simpsons predicted. Another amazing Simpsons prediction for 2025 is personalized medicine. In the 1992 episode Homer the Heretic, Homer goes to a futuristic medical lab, where technology can instantly identify his health issues. Back then, it seemed crazy, but in 2025, it may well be reality. With CRISPR gene editing technology, DNA, and tailor-made medicines that match your DNA. In 2025, AI-powered precision medicine will get more common. A patient's DNA will be sequenced and analyzed. AI will then build the perfect medicine, tailor-made to the genetic makeup of the patient. This amazing technology will save lives, and will become even more available in 2025. But a very dark Simpsons prediction is World War III. It seems like we're closer to World War III than ever before. Some experts say that World War III is already here.
In many ways, I would argue that we're already in the beginning phases of World War III.
Many don't.
And that, my brothers and sisters, is, I mean, to say that that's scary is an understatement, because no one wants to be in war. No one wants to be engulfed in war, especially those of us who are here. We don't want to be engulfed in war, but we know for a fact that the Tanakh is filled with battles and wars. But in this one, I really do believe that the Most High, once again, he's going to step in and he's going to do what's necessary to protect his people. I feel as if there's a level of wisdom that we need to have. There's a level of hearing the Most High that we need to have. But these are definitely times when we need to make sure that we can hear the Most High and that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, which is the law, statutes, and the commandments. Hey, be right back with our next segment. All right, real quick, there are a couple of questions here. One, my sister asked whether or not I have explored iRobot to that same degree. And I have to say, no, me personally, I have not. I don't trust AI. I don't trust AI. Yeah, at times I will use it, but hey, I don't trust AI to run everything in my life and to be, no, I just simply do not. And I don't trust the entire system per se, the way that it's set up, the rules and regulations that are put in place. And I feel as if AI is bigger than those who are trying to control it, and they have not done enough, quick enough, to be able to put guardrails upon AI. I think it's breaking out of every boundary that they have placed, and it is autonomous, and I feel like it has a mind of its own. And who knows what's going to happen here, folks? Who knows what's going to happen? But no, I have not. I see how it's possible. There's been some things that I mentioned on our previous programs where AI has done some things that were, I mean, criminal, basically, right? There's no other way to put it. My sister Emunapua says, I noticed no one is talking about Lego. Okay. Do I know what's going on with that? Let's see here. Well, maybe we'll take a look at that. Maybe we'll. My sister says there is nothing artificial about AI. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that AI can't read cursive writing. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I'm aware that iRobot is the movie with Will Smith, my sister. I'm aware of that. But hey, maybe we'll come back to this, okay? But let's dig into the next topic.
If you have kids between 5 and 16 and you teach them this one foundational money principle, it's going to set them up for success the rest of their life. I've had the privilege of helping families manage their wealth for the past decade and a half, and I get to see firsthand those who learned this principle early versus those who didn't. And the difference is very clear. I mean, I've actually used this in my own life with my own kids, and it really works. It's pretty amazing. By the way, I'm Dave Zoller, and I own a wealth management firm and a tax firm. And I've got another YouTube channel that has over 150,000 subscribers, but that's mainly focused on retirement planning. So I created this channel specifically for people who are under 50, who want to learn from those who have done what we're going for. So if that's you, hit the subscribe button, because every week I'm going to break down the exact strategies that my wealthy clients use. So when it comes to teaching kids about money, the wealthy families use a concept that you have heard before, but these families, they take it just one step further, and that's what makes all the difference. So we'll start with a simple concept if your kids are between 5 to 9 years old, and then we'll talk about what these families do. It's a bigger lesson that they focus on when they get to age 10 and above. And before we get into it, one quick thing that's been on my mind, something I've been thinking about is, has your son or daughter ever come to you when you're headed out the door to work and they grab you by the leg and they say, "Dad, please don't go to work. I want to spend time with you"? If that's happened to you, you kind of know how heartbreaking that can feel. But here's what I learned. I learned it from a mentor. I don't want my kids to believe that work is something that I have to do that's taking me away from them, even though it technically is. But I believe this can put a subconscious dislike for work in their minds at a really young age. And I don't want my kids to believe that, because when this happens, when they say, if I'm walking out the door, they do this, I'll say, "I love spending time with you. I can't wait to see you when I get back. But right now, I need to go help some people. I get to go to work and I get to go help people. And then I'll be home and then we'll play." And I learned this from a mentor that the wealthy families teach their kids that work is a positive thing that brings value to other people. It's not something you have to do. So I just wanted to share that. Let me know if you like that idea by hitting the like button. Or if you do something similar, put it in the comments, please. I'd love to hear from you. But now let's get to the main idea, which is something you've heard before, and then I'll share the how they go deeper, those rich families go deeper. And the thing that you've heard before is the 3-jar method. And early on, we want our kids to understand that every dollar they earn goes into 3 places: spend, save, and give. And early on, when they're between 5 and 9, you're going to decide the allocation to follow. So if they earn $20 this month, you'll sit down with them for 5 to 10 minutes each month, and then you'll give them the $20, and then you'll help them split into the 2 jars. Personally, we just did a simple 40-40-20% when they were young. And they could spend whatever they want in the spend jar. If it's in there, they do what they want. And they can choose to save that money too, if they want. If they want to let it accumulate over a few months in the spend jar and then save up for something big, that's theirs. The save jar, that's money that they're not able to spend, but that is going to accumulate over time. But there's a big shift that happens at age 9 or 10, whenever your kid is ready. And for now, though, the main thing that you want to instill in them is that spending and saving should be equal priorities. Most kids, usually, you might realize this, they think that money is just for spending, but this shows them that savings is just as important, and that money in the give is just as important too.
And we could say that we wish that we had learned this when we were 5 and 10 years old. But hey, now that we know, we can teach our children and our grandchildren. I sat my grandson down the other day, and I was assisting him with opening up an E-Trade account. I feel like we need to really invest in our youth. And hey, if they don't get the wisdom from us, where are they going to get it from?
This is crucial, because these wealthy families, they understand that generosity creates an abundance mindset. So when kids give regularly or put money into this give jar, they're literally practicing the belief that they have more than enough, so much that they can help other people. Because if you think about it, you can only give when you have excess. Every time your child puts money in that giving jar, they're reinforcing this message that I've got plenty and I've got enough to share. This is the opposite of how most people think about money when you think about it. Most people operate from scarcity, where there's not enough, or I need to keep all for myself. But when you teach kids to give first, you're really wiring their brain for abundance. I'll share some ways that we make giving exciting for our kids, even if they're only 5 years old. But then now I want to get to the most important thing that happens at age 9 or 10. And this is I think is the most important step. So when they get to 9 or 10 years old, you give them a choice. They can decide how much they want to put. When they earn money, they decide how much they want to put in spend or save. The giving jar stays the same, whatever percentage you decide. That's going to be a non-negotiable, but now they have the control over saving and spending. And you might be thinking, well, won't they just put everything in the spend jar? That might be their first thought, but here's that secret weapon that makes kids want to save money instead of spending it. Here it is. You become the bank, and the bank pays interest. This is going to instill a habit of saving. I'll give you an example of how to do this specifically, but first, if you can do me a favor, I'd really like more parents to see this message. So can you either share this with someone or leave a comment or leave a like, and I hope this spreads the message out on YouTube. So here's how it works. If they have $20, they earn $20 this month. So they've got the choice of, so let's say we put $2 in the give jar. Now they have the choice on what to do with the other 18. But the money that they put in the save jar, this is the only amount that's going to be earning interest. And you're going to decide the interest rate. I would recommend making it a pretty high interest rate to make it real tangible, especially in the beginning with these low dollar amounts, so that they can see the benefit and get excited about it each month. So here's an example. Say your 10-year-old makes $20 this month because they did a lemonade stand or they did chores around the house. At the end of the month, you meet with them, and then you allocate that $2, if you're doing 10%, to the give jar, non-negotiable. And then they have the freedom to do whatever they want in the save or the spend jar. But you need to paint the picture for them and say, yeah, if you want to spend all 18, you can do that, but you're going to earn $0 this month if you do that. If you decided to save 18 and have none in the spend jar, you're going to be earning, whatever you decide, $5 this month. Again, make it exciting for them. And you can let them know. The main thing is you want to let them know that saving, investing makes your money work for you rather than you always working for money.
So actually this is somewhat ingenious because it's simulating the market, it's simulating investing, it's simulating saving, okay, all in one. And it gives our children an understanding of what it means to save, what it means to invest, and it changes their outlook and their focus on money. So I'm advising, hey, that we kind of learn here from those who are doing these kinds of things, because our children and our grandchildren need our help if things are going to change. So, hey, with that being the case, we will be right back with another segment. I just got to read this before we go to the next segment. From JPTV, I think this may have been, I don't know if this is Penny or if this is Josh. Basically, one of them are saying, I don't hear him talking about Uncle Sam taking at least $5 off there. So not the kid has $10 to $15. So hey, yeah, no, that's another lesson that needs to be taught. But hey, here we go. Controversial Corner coming right up.
individual in the Bible who is a Hellenized Jew in the Roman Empire is an individual. The major individual in the Bible who is a Hellenized Jew in the Roman Empire is named Paul. And he is credited with most of the writing of the New Testament. About a third of the New Testament, which is the Christian Bible, either is written by Paul or it's about Paul. So that's why we believe that not Jesus, but Paul is the real founder of Christianity. It's about the major individual in the Bible who is a Hellenized Jew in the Roman Empire. The major individual in the Bible who is a Hellenized Jew in the Roman Empire is named Paul. In the Bible who is a Hellenized Jew in the Roman Empire is named Paul. And he is credited with most of the writing of the New Testament. About a third of the New Testament, which is the Christian Bible, either is written by Paul or it's about Paul. So that's why we believe that not Jesus, but Paul is the real founder of Christianity.
Are you a Paulian or are you a Christian?
Okay? Christianity, again, is not by Jesus. It's not a religion by Jesus. It's a religion about Jesus. And there's a difference. There are a lot of questions in the story of Paul that don't make any sense. Okay? The first thing that doesn't make sense is like, who is this guy? Right? He has all this power and money, and he can do whatever he wants. And no one can touch him. All right? So that's the first big question. Second big question is, why does he convert? Right? His conversion story doesn't make any sense. We're like, okay, well, because he saw Jesus. Okay, that's fine. But guess what, guys? After Jesus talks to him, Jesus sort of disappears from the story. And you would think that if Jesus was so important to Paul, Paul would quote from Jesus, right?
Yes, yes.
But he doesn't quote from Jesus.
Nope.
Jesus has a lot of message, a lot of sayings, but Paul rarely quotes from him.
I agree, my sister. Oh, Lord, Paul. Oh, my goodness, him.
Okay? But not only that, we already said that the message of Jesus and the message of Paul are very different. Jesus believed the kingdom of God was within us. For our generosity, for our mercy, we can achieve salvation. Paul taught everyone it's believing Jesus that will allow you to achieve salvation. And only believe in Jesus. You can do as much good as you want, but if you don't believe in Jesus, you'll be damned to hell. So all those Buddhists, all those Hindus, all those Zoroastrians who are doing good in the world, too bad. They will be burned in hell. Okay? And that goes against a lot of the teachings of Jesus. Okay? So he did convert, but he's not spreading the gospel of Jesus. All right? All right. The other question then is, why is he focusing on organization? Okay? Why is he focusing on organization? The heart of religion is spiritual truth, right? But Paul doesn't really care about that. He cares about the organization, the church.
So, you know, a lot of what he's saying is very true, but here's the thing, my brothers and sisters. When you take a look at the so-called Apostle Paul, I mean, I know we've talked about it before. I don't even think that the Apostle Paul truly existed. I think he was invented, put on paper by a committee to serve a purpose. And I think that there's so many contradictions in even the things that he has said himself, let alone the contradictions against what he's teaching and what Yeshua ben Yosef called Jesus by the Greeks and the pagans. But, you know, any contradictions between he and him. Aside from that, it's just crazy how Paul is this character, like he's saying, that could not be touched. Okay, and there was one particular portion in Acts, which, by the way, Acts is really about Paul. It's not about the apostles. But there's one point where you see where Paul is protected by the government, and there's literally the military protecting him and ushering him out and escorting him to another place. It's amazing. It's almost as if he's some sort of high Roman official, and that's why I believe that if he existed, he was either a Roman operative or he was a fictional character created. However, you take a look, what this guy is saying is definitely true, and man, Christianity, which is why I say Christianity is not a religion that Yeshua ben Yosef came to start. It's a Paulian religion, and so really people just should call themselves Paulians instead of calling themselves Christians. Yeah.
Church. Who's in charge? How many members we're attracting? How we can appeal to them more? How to resolve internal political disputes within the church. That's what he cares about. That's very.
You know what? I'm sorry. I don't even want to talk about Paul anymore. Next segment. Do I know how marriage works? Do I know how marriage works? Question number 1. How Hebrew are you? Among our ancestors, a Malki, kingly-minded Hebrew man, did not simply fall in love, he entered covenant with the household. Marriage was negotiated through a formal mohar, a bride price arrangement between families, or B, Roman notarized registry, or C, a priest assigned partners at random, or D, for none of the above? Marriage was negotiated through, what is the correct answer? A formal bride price, a mohar arrangement between families, or B, a Roman notarized registry, or C, a priest assigning partners? Yehudith Israel is the first to weigh in with an A. Michael Charles Marsh, A. Christine Croning, A. Terry, A. Amuna Pua, A. Bool 132, A. Miss H, also A. Jacqueline E. Bugs, A. I think we have a consensus. My brother Ben Naftali also says A. What could the answer be? Going once, going twice. Does anyone else want to weigh in? Oh, give us just a second here. Sorry for the delay, but the answer to the question is A. A is the correct answer. Among our ancestors, a Malki, a kingly-minded Hebrew man, did not simply fall in love. He entered covenant with the household. Marriage was negotiated through A. It was negotiated through, a bride price. If a man entice a maid that is not betrothed and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife. He has to pay the bride price. Congratulations to everyone that did get the correct answer. The correct answer, of course, was A. All right, going to question number 2. Question number 2 is... For the daughters of Israel in the ancient land, a marriage covenant was legally sealed by A kiss witnessed by 2 neighbors, B, a written bill of sale signed by an Egyptian governor, or C, she received betrothal gifts as Rachel and Leah received through their father's house, or D, for none of these. Michael Charles Marsh is the first to weigh in with the C. Also, Google 132, also C. Christine Croning, C. Yehudit Yisrael weighs in with the D. And Munapua weighs in with the C. Terry also with the C. Ben Naphtali weighs in with the C. Anyone else going once, going twice? Jacqueline Bugs weighs in with the C. Miss H weighs in with the D. My sister Jacqueline is asking, should it be a D? Going once, going twice. And the answer is C. For the daughters of Israel in the ancient land, a marriage covenant was legally sealed by C. It was sealed by Genesis 29:18 through 20. We notice it was sealed by a covenant, and Jacob loved Rachel and said, I will serve thee 7 years for Rachel, thy younger daughter. And Laban said, it is better that I give her to thee than that I should give her to another man. Abide with me. And Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed unto him but a few days for the love he had to her. On to question number 3. Tight kinship marriages among close blood siblings were not lawful. However, marriage inside the wider tribunal kinship was normal. For example, and is the correct choice A? Israelites could marry Philistine priestesses as first choice, or B? Israelites were encouraged to marry Moabite temple prostitutes, or C? Israelites generally married within the tribe to preserve inheritance boundaries, or is it D? For none of the above. For question number 3, Elimelech Issachar is the first to weigh in with the D. Michael Charles Marsh weighs in with a C. Yehudith Israel weighs in with the C. Google 132 weighs in with a C. Also, Emunapua, C. Christine Croning, C. Ben Naphtali weighs in with a C. Going once, going twice. Jacqueline Bugs weighs in with the C. Going once, going twice. And the answer is... the answer is C. Tight kinship marriages among close blood siblings were not lawful. However, marriage inside the wider tribunal kinship was normal. The tribal kinship was normal. For an example, C. In Bamidbar, which is Numbers 36, 5 through 9, every daughter that possesseth an inheritance in any tribe of the children of Israel shall be wife unto one of the family of the tribe of her father, that the children of Israel may enjoy every man the inheritance of his father. Neither shall the inheritance remove from one tribe to another, but every one of the tribes of the children of Israel shall keep himself to his own inheritance. Congratulations to everyone that did get that answer correct. Yes. And Amalek Issachar also weighed in with the C. Question 4. Last question coming up now. A Hebrew bride was never mere property. If a man hated her and attempted to dismiss her without right, Torah made provisions for, is it A, Roman divorce courts, B, the woman had to shave her head and leave the camp, or C, the woman's right to be restored to her father's house with protection and without shame, and or D, for none of the above? What should the correct response be? For question number 4, Christine Croning is the first to weigh in with the C. Michael Charles Marsh, C. Ben Naphtali, C. Yehudit Yisrael weighs in with the C. Terry weighs in with the C. Amuna Bua with the C. Miss H, looks like we have a consensus, also weighs in with the C. Yehudit Yisrael says C or D. Anyone else? Jacqueline E. Bugs weighs in with the C. Google 132 says, hey, maybe C, could be. And the answer is C. Reference comes to us from Deuteronomy 21 and 14. And it shall be, if thou shalt have no delight in her, then thou shalt let her go whither she will, in other words, wherever she wants to go, but thou shalt not sell her at all for money. Thou shalt not make merchandise of her, because thou hast humbled her. Congratulations to everyone that did get the correct answer. This has been How Hebrew Are You?
It's time. How Hebrew are you? It's your chance to show us how much you know. A fun learning exercise. Let's get ready to play.
I want to ask you a question. Would you pick up a French dictionary in order to help you define Spanish? Would you pick up a book on physics to help you understand the simplicities of cooking a recipe? No, you would not. You need the right reference material for the particular job at hand. And the Most High has given us a job of living the life according to the laws, statutes, and commandments that He has given. Why do I bring up this dichotomy? Why do I bring up this question? Because that is what many of us are doing. We are using reference works that are Christian in origin, nature, and bias. And we're having to gain a a purely Hebraic understanding from them. And this, my dear brothers and sisters, is insane. I'm looking, need your help. I'm looking to foster Hebraic scholarship. So we've started the Hebrew Scholar magazine, and with this, there's something for the entire family, but there's also a platform to be able to develop new, young, and budding scholars. We want scholars that are going to basically produce materials from our perspective with our truth that's for us, that's by us, and that's going to benefit us and help us throughout all generations. I'm Melky Uriel. I want you to subscribe to the magazine. I need you to subscribe to the magazine. We want to reach our first goal of 500 subscribers. And then, of course, we want to go to 1,000 and move on from there. But bottom line of it is, we need this for the nation, for the community. We need this for Israel. We need our own scholars. And it's time that we began to invest in our own scholarship. So help us out. Go to thehebrewscholar.com. We'll see you there. Shalom. It's been a while since we heard from Brother Eli.
They don't want you to know. This is my teaching about the Apocrypha, and it's called the hidden facts they don't want you to know. As such, I will not deal with this particular objection in today's teaching. Question 1. What is sorcery? The Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines the word sorcery as the use of power gained from the assistance or control of evil spirits, especially for divining.
Okay, please keep in mind that within the Hebrew context, okay, how can I put this? How can I put this lightly? The designation of an evil spirit, okay, is really Greco-Roman in its nature and in its understanding. When you look at 1 Kings chapter 22, verse 21 through 23, you'll see that the Most High is controlling all spirits, okay? He's controlling all spirits. He's controlling those who cause dysfunction and those who cause things to function properly. Basically, wickedness is for the wicked, and righteousness and goodness is for the good. And so this is the system that the Most High has designed. I always said, hey, every household has to have someone to bring in the groceries, but it also has to have someone in order to take out the garbage. So there's a separate crew to take out the garbage. They deal with the garbage. And there's another crew that deals with the groceries, which we may call blessings, provision, so forth and so on. And it's the same way with the Most High. He has certain factions of the B'nai Elohim that deal with the trash, so to speak. The wicked, they deal out wickedness unto the wicked, and there's others who deal out good to the good. And hey, that's the system that the Most High has. So evil spirits within itself, it is, the word demon is not in the Tanakh. I remind you, the word demon is not in the Tanakh. Where things run awry is where those who are good, okay, where they subject themselves to things, basically they cross the line and they begin to subject themselves to things that they're not supposed to deal with, right? For instance, like us, we're not supposed to eat catfish. Why? Because catfish are bottom feeders. They're garbage disposals. And so the Most High does not want us dealing with that, even though there are other fish that we deal with. Well, that's just an example. But it's like a person saying, no, I'm only going to eat catfish, but oh, I'm good before the Most High. Well, you crossed the line and you've done what's wrong, and so now you have to be dealt with. Like my sister Yehudit says, Yah created evil to be used whenever he wants to carry out what he intends. So, again, evil is for the wicked and good is for the good. So that's the general rule of things. And so, hey, a lot of times we're a mix, so we receive a mixture, right? A lot of times we're not 100%, so we don't receive 100% good. We also receive the mix. So, but let's continue to hear what Brother Eli has to say. Brother Eli.
That's the use of power gained from the assistance or control of evil spirits, especially for divining. The Most High made all spirits. Some are good, others are evil. And sorcery is turning to those evil spirits to get power for divining, for seeing the future.
Well, let me tell you this, my brothers and sisters, and let me just add an addendum to what I just stated. And this goes back to my time of trying to see what was what, trying to see what works. I was definitely, thank you, Charles Marsh. Yeah, definitely, catfish do not have fins and scales, which is why we stay away from it. But back in the day when I was disillusioned from the church, I was trying to see what worked and what did not work. And one of the things that I did was, let's just say I did some investigating. And here is one thing that I found to be true. When people are being spiritual, even though that sounds good, it sounds fluffy and flowery and wonderful. Oh, I'm spiritual. But that's just like in the realms of the spirit world, that's just like saying I'm a people person. Okay? In the realm of the disembodied, that's just like saying I'm a people person. And people come and with many different intentions, many different understandings, okay? And there, if you notice, my brothers and sisters, maybe I should teach on this, but if you notice, the book of Enoch classifies those spirits, the spirits of the fallen ones, okay, classifies them as being evil spirits, those who cause dysfunction. Well, wait a minute. When you take a look at it and understand that basically they're talking about disembodied spirits, basically human beings that no longer have a body, but had a certain kind of a spiritual disposition that may have been negative. When a person says, I'm a spiritual person, they're only saying to those who are disembodied, well, I'm a people person. Well, that's not enough. You have to be discerning. You can be a people person and hook up with someone that could do you wrong, or you can be discerning and say, hey, I'm not down with that. I'm not going to do, wicked things, and I'm not down with anyone that's wicked. So with that being the case, you have to be more than just a spiritual person. You got to be someone that is on the side of the Most High, protected by the Most High, and then dealing with spirituality from that foundation and that context. But looking at what Brother Eli is saying, he's coming from a particular perspective, and so we're just going to hear him out for a minute, but it runs far deeper than even what he is saying.
Synonyms of sorcery are witchcraft, magic, necromancy, wizardry, voodooism, divination, spiritualism, soothsaying, fortune-telling, and hoodoo.
So you can actually connect, okay, just like you can go to a person and they give you all these things, you can also go to a disembodied person, a spirit, and they can assist you with these things, but that doesn't mean that it's from the Most High just because it's spiritual, okay? People can do wrong. People with bodies can do wrong, and people without bodies can do wrong. And hey, it's just, once again, you have to follow the Most High and do things from his perspective.
These things must not be practiced by the children of Israel under any circumstances whatsoever. Let's read about this in Deuteronomy chapter 18, verses 9 to 14. This is Deuteronomy chapter 18, verses 9 to 14, and I will be reading from the Brenton Septuagint translation. It says, "And when thou shalt have entered into the land which the Most High thy God gives thee, thou shalt not learn to do according to the abominations of those nations." This was commanded to the children of Israel just before our forefathers entered the land of Canaan. The Most High told them, when you enter into the land, do not learn to do according to the abominations of the nations that are in the land. Verse 10, "There shall not be found in thee one who purges his son or his daughter with fire." This is child sacrifice. We're not supposed to do it. "One who uses divination, who deals with omens and augury, a sorcerer employing incantation, one who has in him a divining spirit, an observer of signs, questioning the dead. For everyone that does these things is an abomination to the Most High thy God. For because of these abominations, the Most High will destroy them from before thy face. Everyone who practices sorcery will be destroyed by the Most High. Thou shalt be perfect," that means blameless, "before the Most High thy God. For all these nations whose land thou shalt inherit, they will listen to omens and divinations, but the Most High thy God has not permitted thee so to do." Divination, dealing with omens, augury, observing signs, questioning the dead.
Augury, you may not know what that is, but that's being able to look at the birds or insects and try to divine from that what the will of the Most High is. Being able to tell the future by the flight of birds or the, like entrails and things of that nature.
Using incantations or magical spells and so forth are all forms of sorcery, whether it is astrology, numerology, crystal gazing, using tarot cards, the Ouija board, or automatic writing. These practices are all forbidden by the Most High. They are not for Israelites. Leviticus chapter 19, verse 31. Leviticus chapter 19, verse 31 says, "Ye shall not attend to those who have in them divining spirits, nor attach yourselves to enchanters, to pollute yourselves with them. I am the Most High, your God." When the holy people of the Most High go to sorcerers such as witch doctors and voodoo priests we become polluted, meaning we are no longer holy. Today, there are witches and warlocks in the Christian church claiming to be prophets and prophetesses of the Most High. And because many Israelites have no idea that there are no prophets of the Most High today,
looks like he's pointing at somebody here.
They are easily deceived by these sorcerers' demonstrations of power. For irrefutable evidence of this Christian deception, please listen to my teaching entitled False Prophets in the Last Days. That is, false prophets in the last days.
And you know what? It is a real thing, my brothers and sisters, when we consider those preachers over there in Africa who go to the witch doctor and get the black soap. They get the black soap from the witch doctor and they wash themselves in it as they, pronounce and put forth what they want to happen, what miracles they want to happen. And they look as if they are, wonder workers from the Most High. Okay, but really they are not. And long story short, this is a real thing, my brothers and sisters. This is a real thing. The spirit world is real. And it's just one of those things that we have to be able to navigate, have to be able to control. But if I had $1 for every false prophet that's out there pretending to be a mighty man of God, I would be one rich dude. I would be very rich, as well as you, right? Well, looking at this, hey, we follow the Most High. We have everything that we need with the Most High. And I know that many people would say, they're trying to steer us away from, things. And it's true that they are. I don't knock that. I don't knock that. But we have to, that's a part of it too, my brother Adrian, psychosomatic behavior, where just the psychological suggestion of something, when it's believed, it's embraced, and then it manifests as something physical, that is a real thing. 80% of sicknesses and diseases are psychosomatic, according to doctors. But the black soap. Well, not the everyday black soap that you can get. There is a special black soap, a soap that has to be gotten from a witch doctor in Africa. They have their own black soap. It's not like the black soap that you can get. I'm not saying that any soap that's black is demonic, but what I'm saying is the preachers over there in Africa, they go and they get from the witch doctor, this juju. They go get something, and it happens to be black soap. They're told to get into a tub, wash yourself with it, and then pronounce and say what it is that you want to happen. And then you go to church, okay, after you bathe that morning, and boom, it's supposed to happen. And I had one video where the witch doctor came. He's like, look, give me the money that you owe me because you got the juju. And the witch doctor came to the church to confront the pastor to get the money for his juju because he didn't get all the money that he was promised. And the witch doctor came and got his juju back. Okay, I had a video of that, and hey, it's crazy. Maybe that should have been in the It's Crazy segment, but this is a real deal. This is something that is real. So hey, with that, we're going to go right into our next segment. Okay, just before we go into our next segment, please let me make very clear that it's not that any soap that is black is bad. No, it just so happened that the soap that this individual got from a witch doctor was black, and it is a thing in Africa where if you go to a witch doctor and they put their juju in the soap, this did happen to be a black soap. And again, that's what I'm talking about. Not every black, you can get black soap from Amazon, it's fine. Get some from a, handmade store, whatever, that's all fine. From Etsy, that's all fine. I'm talking about people contacting witch doctors to be empowered by witch doctors in order to do miracles in church. So that's what I'm addressing, not the color of the soap, but I'm addressing that. So hey, let's go into our next segment, our last segment, which is, it's time for Moshe in your kitchen.
Better every time I make it. Every time I make it. This gets better. This gets better. This gets better. Every time I make it. Every time I make it.
Oh, that looks good, y'all. That looks good. And it looks healthy.
Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. In this video I wanted to show you how I make my, I've already been digging in, but I wanted to show you how I make my delicious creamy harissa butter beans. They are packed with protein, fiber, and it's an anti-inflammatory meal. I know that
I love the fact that it's an anti-inflammatory meal. Love that.
I've seen some requests for more anti-inflammatory meals, so this is the start to that series that I wanted to share with you. If there are any ingredients that you see in this recipe that maybe you're not a fan of or you're allergic to, be sure to check out the recipe. It'll be linked in the description box because I'll have suggestions on substitutions that you can use. So without further ado, let's get into this delicious dish. I've made it. This is my 4th time making it, and I hope that you enjoy it as much as I do. So let's get into it. Okay, let's get into these ingredients. You should be able to find most of, if not all of them, at your local grocery store. But the main ingredient here that we'll be using are canned butter beans. Sometimes they do come in a box. You just want to drain them and rinse them. But if you would prefer to use dry butter beans and then soak them and cook them, you definitely can. I would just recommend getting low sodium ones like this. The next main ingredient for this dish is harissa sauce. If you're unfamiliar with harissa,
say that 5 times fast. Harissa sauce, harissa sauce, harissa sauce.
The sauce is made up of peppers, chilies, garlic, oil, warm spices, but it has like a peppery tomato
harissa sauce
like taste. I use mild harissa sauce because I can't handle too much spice, but this does also come in various heat levels. So
you know, I'm really trying to get into the spice, y'all. I'm trying to get into the spice because like this time of year when it gets cold, I mean, if I feel like a cold is coming on, I will do the spice. You know, I had some pho. It's actually pronounced pho yesterday, and man, it was so delicious. But it had them there jalapeno peppers all up in it. No, I love the jalapenos in it, and it just, I'm getting into the spice, y'all. So hopefully by the time, I don't know, this time next month, I will be farther along than where I am now, but I'm starting to get into the spice.
It's completely up to you on which one you choose. I also included
harissa sauce.
sun-dried tomatoes in this dish. The one that I use for this recipe does come in oil. I just removed them from it, but I feel like those have the most flavor, which is why I tend to get them. Of course, I had to have a leafy green in here. This is my favorite type of kale. It's a dino kale, but you can absolutely use curly kale or spinach if you'd prefer. Now, what is a recipe without these two? I love me some shallots as well as garlic. If you can't find shallots or you just have red onion on hand, you can also use that instead. A little salt and pepper to taste.
Okay, I'm so sorry, y'all, but you know what? I assure you, I did not ride the short yellow bus to school, but I need to ask this. I keep seeing people refer to onions as shallots, or the green onions as the shallots and regular onions as regular onions. Maybe, I don't know, can somebody help me out? Are they interchangeable? Or are shallots just a different kind of onion? I mean, help me out here, y'all. Help me out. I missed a comment here. Give me a second. I missed a comment. My sister Jacqueline said, I made some of that yogurt bread and it is like juicy crackers. I love the taste of saltine crackers, and this bread is delectable. Wow. There was another comment that I had missed. Yeah, Yehuda said, I'm growing cayenne in the window right now to make an anti-inflammatory rub. Wow, really? Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. Nice. Okay, here we go. Okay, they're small onions. Thank you, my sister. I appreciate you for that.
Y'all see what I did there? Okay. Also using a recipe without these two. I love me some shallots as well as garlic. If you can't find shallots or you just have red onion on hand, you can also use that instead. A little salt and pepper to taste. Y'all see what I did there? Okay. Also using nutritional yeast, which has a nutty cheese-like flavor. Also high in B12. But if you're not a fan of nutritional yeast, you can definitely just use plant-based Parmesan. This is the brand that I used. However, there are so many brands of nutritional yeast out there, so just use
plant-based Parmesan? Is that what she said?
What you can find. Now, y'all knew garlic powder was going to be in here. I'm also including red pepper flakes for a little kick. And to make this dish creamy, we're going to add vegetable broth as well as a dairy-free milk. I'm using soy milk. However, you can absolutely use coconut milk, almond milk, a cashew milk. Just make sure it's unsweetened. I use soy milk for the added protein. And now that we've gone through all the ingredients, it's time to prep them. So I just started out by mincing my garlic. You can also just buy pre-minced garlic if you want to. I just had garlic on hand, so figured I'd do it on my own. I also roughly chopped slashed somewhat of a mince for the shallots as well, and then I shredded the kale and roughly chopped the sun-dried tomatoes. Kale and roughly chopped the shallots as well, and then I shredded the kale and roughly chopped the sun-dried tomatoes.
Hey. Yep. Sun-dried tomatoes, got my cayenne. I'm gonna go ahead and chop it up best as I can. I'm making something that's anti-inflammatory. I want you to listen to me as you demonstrate. I'll tell you my story.
So most of the time-consuming part is out the way. The rest of this is gonna fly by for you. We're gonna start off by cooking up the shallots. I swear these stainless steel skillets do not play when it comes to heat. Anywho, after sauteing those for a bit, add the garlic. You're gonna cook those for about a minute or two. Just be careful not to burn them. You don't wanna burn the garlic. And add in the chopped sun-dried tomatoes, followed by the drain and rinse butter beans. And if you're not a fan of butter beans, you can't find them, or maybe you're allergic, this will also work with chickpeas. I would just recommend maybe using a can and a half, or probably even 2 cans of chickpeas instead of the butter beans. Add in your milk. Again, I'm using an unsweetened soy milk, but you can use coconut milk or whatever milk or cream you prefer. And then also add in the vegetable broth. Now, I normally would have added the harissa sauce immediately after adding in the beans, but I forgot. Whoops. So do as the recipe says, which is to add the harissa to the beans, let that cook for a bit.
Harissa sauce.
And then add the milk and the vegetable broth. And then we're gonna let that simmer for a bit and then season it up. So adding the salt, the black pepper, nutritional yeast, and again, you can use plant-based Parmesan if you prefer. I also added in garlic powder and the red pepper flakes. Though I have measurements for the seasonings and spices, please just adjust to your liking. You know, add different seasonings if you would prefer. You really want to make this your own. And
man, I feel like, man, if it wasn't Shabbat, man, I'd make that right now, boy. I'd make it.
Cater to your taste buds. By now it should have thickened up a bit. You're going to add the kale or spinach if that's what you're using and mix that really well. You may want to add more vegetable broth or more milk if you would prefer this to be a little bit more soupy almost and just a bit more creamy. And now if you want to get a little fancy like I enjoy doing, I drizzled some coconut milk on top and then I added more of the harissa sauce as well. I went ahead and toasted up some sourdough bread because it is time to dig in. And
thank you for that, my sister. Yehuda said, hey, soy contributes to inflammation, so they're canceling each other out. Wow. Thank you for that. I ain't doing the soy then. How about that? I ain't gonna
as you can tell, your girl wasted no time because this is so delicious. Y'all, I'm digging in. I swear, this gets better every time I make it. It's so delicious. And I like to have it with the sourdough bread. It just does something, okay?
Oh,
it just
man,
does something.
I'm hungry.
But I hope you try out this recipe. Give this video a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments what you think about the recipe, if you plan to try it. And if you do try it, come back and give me an update. I would love to hear from you. I will see you in the next video.
Oh, very nice, very nice, very nice. Well, hey, Boogle132 says in the UK, Shabbat is over now. So Boogle132 says, hey, so I'm gonna go eat like right now. Like, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna eat like right now. Well, I want to say, Boogle132, it has been an honor to have you with us. Please return. Listen, do me this favor, Boogle132, and every one of you out there that hasn't done so, please hit the subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button. Also hit the like button. I feel as if I don't mention this enough. I'm too into trying to give you some good content and trying to arrange things as I'm on the live. And I just simply want to say I do forget about that. But hey, please hit the subscribe button. If you don't know whether or not you're subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and that will definitely bless us. For Yom Revi'i, for the fourth day, I'm trying to get our brother here who just wrote a book. Gadal Hagadal wrote a book. The Image Still Stands. It is an easy read. It's a quick read. You'll like it. I'm trying to get him to be with us on our Hebrew Scholar podcast this upcoming Yom Revi'i. He has said that he would like to, so hey, we're going to hopefully be with him. So join us for this fourth day. When I get back, we're going to open it up for just general questions for a minute. In case someone has a question or two, we'll open it up. Be right back. All right, my brothers and sisters, just before we tiptoe out the door, I wanted to open it up for questions for those that may have a question. And hey, thank you, Amunapua. Amunapua says, Todah for another great lesson, More. Enjoyed everyone. Hey, we enjoyed you too, and I'm so glad that you're here, my beloved sister. Love you, love you, love you. Never met you, but love to see you. But hey, love you. Thank you for that, Bergen Paris. He says, for those that missed the chicken lesson that Melkia dropped, yeah. So I wanted to just leave it open for a couple of questions if someone had questions, but if not, I'm just going to give you just a few. I'm going to stall by going to a commercial. And hey, if there aren't any questions, then you know what? We're going to go ahead and let you enjoy the rest of your blessed Shabbat. Okay? So be right back. Peace and blessings to each and every one. Okay, Boogle132, bless you, my friend. You said that you'd leave your question for next week. Okay, we can accept that. And thank you very much. Amuna Pua says, be encouraged, Mishpachah. Won't be long before we're out of here. All praises to the Most High. I second, third, fourth, and fifth that sentiment. And it looks like we are good to go. Well, listen, peace and blessings to each and every one of you. Enjoy the rest of your Shabbat. I want to say thank you again for your time and for your attention. And I would like to open it up for those of you to give me suggestions if you want to see some things different. Like my sister Jacqueline E. Bugs said, hey, why don't you have, a guest do the praise? I mean, I don't know if she's like, man, we tired of you. Bring somebody else in here. Or if it's just like, hey, that would be a good idea. Well, hey, you can give me your suggestion. You can definitely give me your suggestion. Send it to my email address. Email me, okay? More@remnantnation.live. More@remnantnation.live. And yeah. And other than that, I just simply want to say, my brothers and sisters, I am delighted that we've had this time together. I learn from you as well. I'm delighted to be able to teach, but I learn from you as well. And I'm so happy to be in communion with you and the rest, and the rest of those people. Oh, Ben Naphtali. See, now that's kind of my thing right there. He says, debate some JC folks. I mean, I really had to calm myself down because, man, I would love to do that. That's something I would absolutely love to do. So yeah, okay. He's saying that's a suggestion. Debate some JC folks. I tried to get some JC folks on here, and I have not been able to get a single person to address the Christian challenge that we've given people. But be that as it may. And thank you for that, my brother Bergen Paris. You read my mind, man. You read my mind. So yeah, hey, I'm open for that. I'm open to that. And, they always equate it to, see, you just don't have the Ruach HaKodesh to understand. But hey, we're going to go ahead. Thank you for that, my brother Ben Naphtali. Appreciate you, my brother. And with that being the case, you know what? I think that we're going to go ahead and we're going to sign off for now. I love you all. May the Most High bless you. May He keep you. May this week be prosperous. May it be generous unto you. Remember, the Most High has a million ways. He has a million ways that He could bring blessings into your life. And oh my goodness. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm looking at some of these comments. Yeah. Very true, my sister Yehudith. Yeah, they will dig in their heels. Okay, Mike's L says, as a Yah only believer, is there an explanation for Psalms 110 verse 1 and Proverbs 30 verse 4? I mean, definitely. And you know what? These have come up. Okay, so let me do this real quick. Okay, Mike's L. Hold on, Mike's L. Let's go there. Okay, let's go there. Unless this is something that you want addressed later, we can go there right now. Okay. And this is something that is, oh my goodness, man. We can dig into this right now without a problem. I don't have any problems at all digging. Oh, no, let's see here. And Proverbs 30 and 4 definitely will go there afterwards. But okay, so let's dig in. You want to dig in, Mike? For those of you that want to enjoy the rest of your Shabbat, go ahead. Mike's L has a question, and he says, "Hey, as a Yah only, is there an explanation for Psalms 110 verse 1 and Proverbs 30 and verse 4? Well, let's go there, my brothers and my sisters. Well, here is what it reads. Here's the scripture. It reads, Thou, Lord, you Yah, Yah said unto my Lord, sit thou at my right hand until I make thine enemies thy footstool. So now the question is there an explanation for this? Well, a lot of the confusion comes in because in the English version it says, the Lord said unto my Lord. And commonly what is often forgotten is that this is a Psalm of David. But now let's take a look in the Hebrew. Let's see what's actually being said. We know that in the King James Version, in the original 1611 preface to the King James Version, they mentioned that they did not understand the Hebrew correctly and that they were fumbling about trying their best to interpret the Hebrew. And later it's discovered that there's over 200,000 mistakes in the King James Version alone. But let's go ahead and explain, and I'm going to do so by taking a look at the Hebrew. Let's take a look at this scripture in the Hebrew, and let's look at what it actually says. Now, le David mizmor, in other words, to David or for David, okay? We're going to go ahead and call this mizmor, even though this is a deep word within itself. We're going to call this a psalm for now. And it says, Ne'um, thus says Yah, to le Adoni, to my master, or to my boss. So whoever this is writing to, this lamed here means to or for. Okay, so this is something to or for, or what we would say in the English, our modern day English vernacular, we would say about David. Okay, Ne'um, behold, Yah, okay, to my master, thus says Yah, to my master, okay, Shev, sit, okay, and basically sit by me, by my hand, until, of course, and the rest of that verse reads as it reads. So this is not God talking to Jesus Christ, as many Christians would want this to say. This is a psalm about David. Someone is writing and saying that Yah has said unto my master, my boss, okay, basically unto David, sit thou at my right hand until I make thine enemies thy footstool. Okay, and as we take a look at the note here, I have in this note, I've got an understanding here, and I've got information about where this comes to pass. If you look in 2 Chronicles, you'll find that this actually has come to pass where Dawid HaMelech, where he actually states that the Most High has actually brought about his deliverance and given him rest from all my enemies. We can go there, and I can show you a couple of scripture in relationship to that. Okay. And this is part of the explanation, of course. Let me highlight this so that you can see this a little bit better, a little bit easier. But here's one that's also in 2 Samuel that also gives you an understanding of what is being discussed. Let me do this. Okay, here we go. Okay. Bam. I have pursued mine enemies and destroyed them, and turned not again until I had consumed them. See, the Most High gave him rest from all of his enemies, okay? I have consumed them and wounded them, that they should not arise. Yea, they are fallen under my feet, for thou hast girded me with strength to battle. Them that rose up against me hast thou subdued under me. So sit thou here at my right hand until I make thine enemies thy footstool. Here it's brought to pass, them that rose up against me thou hast subdued under me. That's what the Most High did, and again, that is what is written, and that is what is found. You also mentioned Psalms 30 and 4. Okay, so let's do this. Let me, no, that was Proverbs, wasn't it? Let me check. Yeah, Proverbs 30 and 4. I said Psalms, didn't I? Well, let's go to Proverbs 30 and 4. Let me know what that one says, but let's go ahead and take a look at it anyway, lest we, and one more time, this is one of those verses of scripture that Christians will cherry pick and say, see, it's talking about JC. And of course, let's take a look and notice what it reads here. Psalms 30 and 4. Here it reads, who hath ascended up unto heaven, or descended, who hath gathered the winds in his fist, who hath bound the waters in a garment, who hath established all the ends of the earth. What is his name, and what is his son's name, if thou canst tell? Now, right here, individuals will say, see, God does have a son. See, so look, it says, what is his name? And what is his son's name? What is his son's name? See, his son, he got a son right there. And of course, the alley-oop is like, oh, see, it's got to be talking about JC. It's got to be talking about JC, right? Everybody knows that. Well, hold on, stop. Let's let the scripture, let's let the word of the Most High, let it speak concerning itself, okay? None of this, hocus pocus, it's got to be this or it's got to be that. No illusions, no guesses. Let's pay attention and let us look at what the Most High says in his word regarding the scripture. Now, when we go into the scripture, we'll find there's a couple of scripture here that I can go to. And I want you to see this, okay? Because this fits the scenario of what we understand about kingship in the days of ancient Israel, okay? Let's see, for the sake of context, let's just begin at verse number 10. This is 2 Samuel 7 and 10. Moreover, I will appoint a place for my people Israel, and I will plant them, that they may dwell in a place of their own, and move no more, neither shall the children of wickedness afflict them any more, as before time. And as since the time that I command judges to be over my people Israel, and have caused thee to rest from all thine enemies. Again, alluding to the Davidic ministry and the Davidic kingship. Also the Lord telleth thee that he will make thee an house. So this is talking about David Hamelech, and notice the Most High says, I will make thee a house, and when thy days be fulfilled, and thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, I will, I will set up thy seed after thee, which shall proceed out of thy bowels. Okay? In other words, out of your lineage, basically from your progeny, okay? When you conceive children by normal and natural means, it's going to come forth out of your bowels, and I will establish his kingdom. He shall build an house for my name, and I will establish the throne of his kingdom forever. I will be his father, and he shall be my son. So what is his name? What is the son's name? In this case, it's Solomon. Okay? So, yeah, as a Yah only, one who subscribes only to the Tanakh, yeah, I can explain those verses. Okay? So, Mike's L, there you have it. Okay? Those are the explanations for those verses. Okay? So when you take a look at it, now, since you asked me a question, I want to ask you a question. Michael Charles Marsh, you asked, what website am I using? I'm not using a website for the scripture. I have a program for the scripture on my computer. Oh, wow. I would love that. I would love that. Let's talk about that in Munapur. It says, requesting if you can on a 6th night for set-apart music session for an hour. Yes, I would love that. Are you kidding? Oh, man, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. I would love that in Munapur. I would love to do that. Okay, so... yeah, Google 132. That's pretty much what I just explained. Pretty much what I just explained. So let's also take a look. So I'm asking. So Mike L, if you've asked me a question, now I'm wondering, can I ask you a question? Okay. I'm wondering if I can ask you a question. And here's the question for you. Mike's L, here's a question for you. I want you to grab your Bible and I want you to go into the book of Galatians 2:21, and I want you to read there, okay? And I want you to do a comparison of these two verses. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pull both of these up on the screen, and I'm going to read them one at a, in fact, I'm going to read them beside one another, okay? I'm going to read them beside one another, and I want you to weigh here into this and let me know if you can explain this. Okay, so let me pull both of these up. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm bringing you into the scripture, and here we go. I've got two Bibles right next to each other. This over here is Galatians 2:21, and I want you to compare that to, in fact, I'm going to make these a different color just so that you can, just so that you'll know beyond the shadow of a doubt which verses we're dealing with here. So, yeah, this is Galatians 2:21. We want to start here, okay? Apostle Paul says, I do not frustrate the grace of God, for if righteousness come by the law, then Christ is dead in vain, right? We see that? Okay. Now, I need you to look at Deuteronomy 6 and 25, which reads, "And it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before Yah, our Elohim, as he has commanded us." So it is our righteousness if we observe to do the commandments. So Deuteronomy 6 and 25 is saying that righteousness comes by doing the commandments. Over here, the Apostle Paul says, if righteousness come by the law, then Christ is dead in vain. So I'm wondering if you can explain that to me, my brother Mike's L. If you could be so kind and explain that to me, I would greatly appreciate it. So you've asked me a question. Now it's my turn to ask you a question, and then you've asked me another question. So I'm asking you to address my question first, and then I will answer your second question. And this is to Mike's L. Okay, and I'm waiting for a response. Okay, I'm waiting for Mike's L to respond. And I agree with my brother Adrian, who says, don't be a stranger, come again and receive understanding. Please do. Okay, maybe he's looking over the scriptures that I just shared. Okay, but I'll be patient and I'll wait for Mike's L to respond. Yeah, I'm aware of that scripture, my brother Adrian. I'm very aware, but I don't bring that up unless someone says, okay. All right, I understand the context then. Okay, Mike Zell. Okay, thank you. It's not a challenge. I get that. Okay, I apologize if I'm coming off adversarial. I don't intend to. But Luke 1, 6, and 7 is an excellent scripture which basically proves that the law can be done and that you can be blameless before the Most High. So then the second part of your question, Mike's L, was, I'll go ahead and I'll address that. You asked the question, he says, do you believe in JC, or are you just gathering information to know how to debunk the New Testament? Just asking. Well, thank you for that question, Mike L. I will tell you this, that I'm not gathering information to just debunk the Christian New Testament, okay? That's not what I'm doing. And in fact, when you take a look at what the Word of the Most High said, which is what Christians would call the Old Testament from Genesis to the end of Malachi, or in the Hebrew Bible, under different structure, it would be from Genesis to the end of 2nd Chronicles. When you take a look at what it says, here's what I do. I honor the words of the Most High above and beyond the words of anyone. The words of the Most High reign supreme. I do not take the words of the Apostle Paul above the words of the Most High. I don't take the words of Yeshua ben Yosef, called Jesus by the Greeks and the pagans. I don't take his word above the words of the Most High. Okay? For obvious reasons. The Most High is the Most High. And when we take his word and honor his word and believe it to be true, it puts us in a completely different dimension of understanding. And it makes it impossible for us to believe that someone can die for you. It makes it impossible to believe that someone can sin for you and that someone can die for you. And there's a reason for that. I can prove that. I'm just going to have to quote these verses. I would be here for hours if I were to just show and expound upon every scripture. But Ezekiel 18 verses 20 all the way through 22 shows us that that no one can sin for you and no one can die for you. Deuteronomy 24 and 16, no one can die for you. You have to die for your own sins. Okay. Also, when it comes to looking at the Most High and understanding His word, understanding that it is true, there is no way that the Most High Himself would suddenly say, you know what, I was against child sacrifice, but hey, let me sacrifice my own son. Well, we find this to be against the word of the Most High, because He said that He abhors those that do such things. But Christianity has Him turning around and doing the very thing that He stated that He hates. And this is because Christianity sets up the motif that the Most High changes His mind, and He's just, oh, he said that back then, but now, come on, that's just, you don't have to worry about that. Well, that's what Christianity wants you to believe, but we do not subscribe to that, because it dishonors what the Most High has already said. So, with that being the case, there's a lot more that I could say about this, and I do have, I've got a whole series about this, that it might be fulfilled, where I go through the so-called prophecies in the book of Matthew and show you where, I compare them to the word of the Most High, and we see that they did not come to pass. Oh, there was a question that wasn't for me. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay, so okay. That question was not for me. All right. I get it now. Okay. All right. Well, listen, my brothers and sisters. I repeat what Brother Adrian has said. Do return Mike's L. Okay. We're here for you, and I simply want to say it is an honor to have you with us, as well as you, Boogle132. Great to have you all the way from the UK, and every one of you that's here. Hey, I'm glad that you're here. I'm going to let you enjoy. Listen, I'm going to get off of here, and I'm about to enjoy the rest of my Shabbat. Peace and blessings to each and every one of you. I love you. Join us again for Yom Revi'i, for the Hebrew Scholar podcast on Wednesday. And again, we're going to try to have our brother here, Gadal Hagadal, who just put out this brand new book, The Image Still Stands. And we're going to connect with him and hope that he can be with us. And so with that being the case, we're out of here. I love you all. Enjoy the rest of your Shabbat.